Hello and welcome to a special episode of In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast. My name's Davey and joined with me as always is the fine wine himself, Mr. Philippoi.
We're back here once again, boys. It's strange, seeing you quite often now.
It is, yeah. It's becoming a bit too common, if I'm honest. But yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure to see you. And, of course, the prophet himself, Spencer Davis.
Ooh, and there's actually one we missed last episode, double fucking profit, by the way.
Ooh.
Secret Levels, the Prime show, had its episode's release, and someone, all three of us, made a bet on which episode was going to be first.
Oh, shit. Okay, how'd that go?
I fucking won.
Two of us were right. Two of us were right, weren't we, Spence?
Well, yeah, they dropped all the episodes in a bundle, but listed as number one
Okay.
is Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, I count that. So what does that mean? Did we put shots on this or not? We did.
Yes, we did.
So you got a shot to give out, or is it we have a shot each?
I think it's a shot to give out.
Shot to give out, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But obviously that quiz has ended, so I don't know if it rolls over to the next quiz.
Yeah, it rolls in. It's the same way that on the next quiz, it's the we still haven't done like our Track Mania Turbo race or whatever.
Oh, challenges and shit.
So
yeah.
all this shit. So we'll go into the next quiz.
Say less.
So
say less.
no worry, listeners. We're not going to stiff him on this one. Promise. We haven't drunk enough for me to be able to try and sort my way out.
Waggle it out, yeah.
We haven't done enough. And then we got one extra guest with us in person today. Lewis, Mr. Potato Chief himself, the Emperor of Xbox himself, has joined us.
Oh, that's great.
How the devil are you?
I'm fantastic. Look, Mum, I finally made it. I finally made it to the live shows. They finally invited me.
It's a big step up, right?
It's amazing.
A lot of pressure today,
Yeah,
Lewis.
I'm so excited. I finally made it. It's big time.
You have.
I made it.
It's a big deal, and today is a big deal because, audience, you may be thinking, wow, it's the Christmas period, New Year's fast approaching, or it will have approached by the time that you're listening to this episode, and we are doing our Game of the Year discussion.
Yeah.
So we are going to be sitting down, and the way we do a Game of the Year on this show is we do a top 5 each, and the way we do it is that if it appears in somebody else's list, we are free to talk about it unhinged for that first time, but that person who it's on the list somewhere keeps that nebulous, right? Keeps that sealed, so it doesn't spoil the fun. So you don't say, oh, I got that one too. That's my number 2. We keep that under wraps, and then when you get there, it's revealed, and that's about it. And it just helps keep it all going.
And we've kept our lists semi-secret, haven't we?
There's
been a small conversation earlier when we were in Wetherspoons having a warm-up pint, which may have hinted at a few picks, but we've kept them relatively unknown to each other, haven't we? I haven't revealed anything, I don't believe.
I know one game.
But listening to some of your conversations, I could kind of pick out one or two, but it's going to be interesting to see the full list, isn't it?
I did make a video of my Game of the Year already on my YouTube channel, so I have kind of given it away.
Yeah, but who watches that?
No one watches that. Mark.
No one watches that.
No, I don't need to see a load
I
of...
haven't seen that.
No, I don't need to see a load
This
of
is true.
muck. Especially when I'm going to be having you here. I didn't want to spoil it for myself.
No,
So
that's fair.
I do not know what it is, and I'll be looking forward to actually learning that detail today.
And if anyone has watched that video, it's not exactly the same. I didn't mention any PlayStation games on that list, so this will be slightly different. So it's not the exact same list.
His list has changed in 2 days.
Well, not even 2 days. I've got it yesterday.
1 day, 12 hours.
12 hours.
But this is the real game
This
of
is
the
the
year.
real list.
This is the real list.
Until I change my mind later. But yes, this is the real
Until he
list.
goes on another podcast,
Yes.
which has slightly more viewers, and then that's the real list.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it. At the end of the day, you've got to play the game with it, right?
Yeah.
And so, that's why my list is going to be full of all these Chinese games.
games, yeah.
Chinese
I was
games.
gonna say.
Absolutely. I haven't even played them, but, Infinity Mickey's got a lot of players. And so I'm going to start walking that back real quick. But we have got a lot to go through today. This is going to be it. There is not going to be any quick news, any what we've been playing, anything like that. This is solely here for the Game of the Year. And then we'll be back in the new year to keep the show going and move it on to episode, I believe, 105.
It is, yeah.
Are we carrying on?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was the goodbye episode. Like the farewell tour they do.
Oh, no.
No. We're carrying on next year, aren't we?
Yeah.
I guess, mate, yeah.
So,
Please let us know in the comments if you want us to do some more shows. Yeah. God. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort for very little, kickback.
no reward.
For no reward. Literally zero reward.
Literal zero reward.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to spend time with each other.
That's true. The real reward is the journey
It's a
we've
bit
got
too
on.
much time.
You're
But
taking that as a reward?
It can be a punishment, can it, sometimes?
Sometimes.
But ultimately, we're here for a good time.
I can't believe you ended the episode as soon as you invite me here. Like this is the
That's
last
it. You
one.
killed the show.
I killed the show. I can't believe it. Sucks.
This is it. Well, so guys, before we dive into it, what we're going to do is we're going to just first off review the year. We're 4 years into the PlayStation 5, or give or take. I want to know how 2024 racks up there with the rest of the years that have come before. Do you feel that this year has been on the same level of quality as years previously, or was this year a bit of a duff year? What are your thoughts? Spence, going to come across to you first.
For me, oh shit. I think it's a duff. Firstly, I think compared to last year's and the years before. I mean, last year we had Street Fighter 6. Come on, nothing's beating that. That'd be number one this year if I could have it.
Yeah, it would.
Year before then, what did we have? Fucking Ragnarok.
Yep.
Fuck me. And then the years before then, I remember our top 5 lists were just so hard to actually do because there was such a number of games that were releasing and that we were playing. This year, it was between 6 games, I think, my top 5. And yeah, there wasn't really much decision. It's just, I wrote it down. I think, yeah, that's what it is.
So you'd rate this as the worst year of PlayStation games?
I think so.
On PlayStation 5?
I think the worst year for games, probably.
Okay, wow. Very controversial, I believe, personally, but we'll get round to me in a second.
We certainly will. Lewis, I want to come to you first, actually. What do you think?
It's been kind of a quiet year. I think there's not been that one big game. There's not been like a Baldur's Gate 3 or an Elden Ring or a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There's kind of not been that one exceptional game. But there's been a lot of decent games. There's been lots of 8s and 9s. Maybe there's no 10s. I'm not a massive fan of IGN, but they only gave out 1 10 this year, whereas they usually give out multiple 10s throughout the year. So I feel like there's not been that one like game of the generation this year. There's been a lot of average. I think Xbox has done quite well this year. PlayStation had 3 decent games this year. I mean, if you count Concord, which we all liked Concord, but no one else did.
But don't give away any of your picks just yet, Lewis.
Don't worry, you didn't make my list.
Oh, shit.
That's crazy.
Just being honest. But yeah, like Xbox has had a decent year this year. Nintendo had a bit of a quiet year as well, actually, because they're building up for the Switch too. I think Xbox is and then Xbox's year, they still haven't figured out how to pace themselves. They had Hellblade at the beginning of the year, and then everything in November and October. They had like 6 games in November, October, December time. Spread them out, Xbox. If you're listening, I know it's a PlayStation podcast, but spread your games out. They're doing better next year, hopefully, because February we get Avowed, and then hopefully something else, and then they pace it. But this year's been a bit, yeah. They've had some good games. That's what I'm going to say. I think I've made my point. So that's about, yeah. It's all right, yeah. A lot of mediocrity, but nothing outstanding.
So you think Xbox has had the best year out of the 3 consoles? We're not counting PC within this conversation because sadly we don't get to touch on PC releases very often. Yep. You know, we get shunned whenever we talk about League of Legends or any of the stellar games that we have over there on PC. But out of the 3 consoles, Lewis, you're probably the most informed to sort of talk about it, having owned all 3 consoles and you're still buying games on all 3 consoles quite regularly. Would you say Xbox has had the strongest year?
I would probably say this year they have, yeah. I do like, there has been some good PlayStation games this year, and they have actually, I was discussing this earlier with you guys, I did my wrap-ups for my Switch, my Xbox and my PlayStation, like on the website, and the Switch is my least played console this year, and that's usually one of my most played. I've actually played more PlayStation this year than I have Switch, so...
Oh, wow. Good.
Yeah, I think the PlayStation's had a decent year this year. I think a lot of people have been saying it's like dead this year. I don't think that's the case. It hasn't. It has had some decent stuff, but I think Xbox just about pipped it because you had like Stalker 2, Indiana Jones, Call of Duty, Flight Simulator, all like the same month. It was pretty stacked month.
I always forget that Call of Duty counts now.
Yeah. It kind of does. It kind of doesn't, but it kind of does.
So I was thinking that when you said 6 games at the later end, I thought, what are the games? And then Call of Duty, like... Does it really? I mean...
It does.
Unfortunately, it does.
Xbox aren't making it. They've just bought it, you know?
Well, they are.
It's the same way that when we can say that now Sony own, you know, a bit of the stake in, almost the majority shareholder in, like, FromSoft, right?
Yeah, now we can say...
Now we say, oh, it's a Sony game if you wanted to. I never would, you know, it's
It's not an exclusive, is the thing, is it? That's the thing.
I doubt we'd
So
have
would
to
you
use
count-
that as part of an argument to sort of bolster my point.
Yes, yeah, that's very
So
true.
we can talk about other exclusives that we have.
But
Yeah.
would you count Final Fantasy and would you count
Yeah.
Stellar Blade and all that, even though they're not made by PlayStation either?
I would
but
count
they're
them
exclusives.
when you're looking at the argument of like which consoles had the best year.
Yeah.
I would say 100% because it's a console exclusive. But in terms of if you're talking about studios or publishers, then no, absolutely not, because the publisher, of course, is Square in the case of Final Fantasy. But in terms of looking at a console landscape, which ones had the best year? I think it's quite hard to argue against PlayStation this year because it's been a year of pretty much a banger every quarter, even if they're not first parties.
Yeah,
like
I'd agree.
You had Stellar Blade, which did really good numbers, really, really well regarded right at the start of the year. Helldivers right at the start of the year. Rise of the Ronin came out. It didn't really make a massive splash, but there's a cult following for it for sure.
I've heard that.
And then as you move on, you've then got Final Fantasy, which came out, which was a huge game. One of the games up for Game of the Year.
Too big, some would say.
Yeah, I would say. And then you move down the line, and then you've got Astro, you got Black Myth Wukong.
Yep, huge games.
All these games that you can't play anywhere
They
else.
were all nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty hard to argue any other case, but ultimately it's all opinion, isn't it? And then that's what makes it a good thing. But what about yourself, Mr. Hoy? How do you feel about this year for PlayStation, or just in general?
I like Lewis's points there, but he's tribalistic as always. Comes on a PlayStation podcast and starts talking up the Xbox. He gets one exclusive over there, and then it's suddenly Xbox has had the best year ever. So I'm talking about indie. That's the reason. That's the reason you're happy.
That's the best one.
That's the real
Timed
reason.
exclusive as well, mine.
Yeah, timed exclusive. We'll have it soon.
Doesn't matter about time exclusive.
Could
Final
be our
Fantasy?
Game of the Year next year.
Probably will be up there.
Possibly.
It is
We'll
a
have to
good
see.
game.
We'll have to see.
Very good game.
But anyway, my view, and I think I touched on this last episode that I was on, because I wasn't on the last episode, was I? I was over in the States. I joined you guys for a little bit of a chat about Jeff Keighley's show, but you, in large, handled the show, and you did a very good job, boys. So
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. I did miss being on the show, and thanks for stepping in, Lewis.
All right.
Thanks for not spoiling the quick news and losing on purpose, like you normally do. You actually won quick news, which I was over the moon by, so props to you on that one. But yeah, the last episode I was on, I actually touched on this a little bit, and I said we've had probably about an 8 out of 10 year, really. So I think there's been lots of games that have sort of come out this year, which aren't landmark, and you touched on this earlier with your point. They aren't the big stellar games. They aren't your top of the line, God of War games, for example, the big games that we all look forward to. They're not your GTAs. They are just your okay games, but good enough to make the year an 8 out of 10, I would have said, going through, because there's been consistent games.
Yeah.
And I found this top 5 probably the hardest year that we've been doing the podcast to come up with a top 5, because there has been so many good-ish games within this year to pick.
Yeah, I got to kind of echo some of the thoughts that have been around the table already. I think that when I look at this year, it's been a year where it's been too hard to fit everything in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's been so many games that have really sung to me that I've really wanted, and I named a few of them just now. Stellar Blade and Black Myth, right up my street. Have not got to them. Haven't finished fucking Space Marine 2. Like, all these experiences that I know are like for me, and I can't fit them in because there's other things that are grabbing attention, be that in the VR2 space now, where everything seems to be out right now at the moment that I actually want to play, or just for other games that we're trying to tick off the backlog that released at the same time earlier on in the year. It's been a great year for gaming, but like you guys have said, I don't think there's been that one game, right? Like you think,
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
well, and you think Ragnarok and Elden Ring were in the same year, right? Like it became really hard then to be able to pick
Tears of
which
the
one's
Kingdom and
better.
Baldur's Gate were out in the same year as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Very strong year.
you get these years where you get like, and this happens every single generation, mind. I think back to, I think it was 2008 in PS3 maybe, or PS4. I think it was PS3. And you had you look at that year and it's like GTA 5, there's like fucking Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 3. There's like so many games that are just all in one year, and it's like, fuck me.
2008, I think.
Yeah,
Halo 3, Bioshock, Mass Effect.
It's nuts.
Those are those clickbait posts on Twitter.
Yeah,
aren't
you
they?
always see it.
This year, all these games come out, and you're like, oh my god, what a year.
Yeah. Or like
we haven't had one of those yet.
1998, you think, and you have like Metal Gear Solid, fucking Legacy of Kain, like all these other like.
Thought you were just going to say Metal Gear Solid.
That's all you need. Right? That's all you need.
Yeah.
But no, you think it's definitely not one of those years. But I wouldn't ever look at this year and say it's been a bad year, because I've had too much choice and I haven't been able to get around everything. I think that if I'd had a drought, then I think there's an argument there. If you think, right, well, we've gone 5 months, I've been playing my backlogs, there's nothing here that speaks to me, then you can think, okay, well, this has been a bit of a bad one. But that has not been the case. It's been too stacked.
Not.
But I don't feel like as if I've missed out on something that I definitely should have played. Like something that I'm going to look back on at the end of this generation and think, this is it. Like, this will make the list. There's potential for one game, which I'm sure will come up in a list later on. But overall, I agree with you guys. I think it is the best analogy is an 8 out of 10 year.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. And I think it probably is the weakest year out of all of them so far.
Right, next year we're getting GTA 6, we're getting...
Death Stranding 2, maybe?
Death Stranding 2.
Ghost of
Yoti.
Tsushima. Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4, maybe a Switch 2. It's going to be a
next year's.
There's no date on the Naughty Dog game,
Half-Life 3.
Possibly. You never know.
Next year, I think we can all safely say, we can look at the slate of what's coming up and you could think, fuck me, this is going to be a tough year.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
You got chance of, and the button is not on for the purpose of this. I don't think anybody would bring one up, but you could safely say RE9 is probably going to be out next year. I'd put a bet on that, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot of games that are going to come up. Fucking City of the Wolves coming up for a fighter, which could very well pit the post.
And 2XKO.
There's so many great
games.
Well, that's enough for looking forward at 2025 games and talking about that a little bit. We've already had an overview, a scattershot, if you will, of 2024, but now it's time to fill in those blanks, to look at those pellets and then think, right, that one hit there. What one hit the headshot? If we're using the shotgun analogy.
Sure.
And keeping it going,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Keeping it going. That's what we're going to do. So let's go around. We're going to go around the table. We're going to go from yourself, Spence, over to Lewis, over to Phil, then to me.
And
That's
yourself.
a fucking weird circle, mate.
Yeah, I think we always start with yourself, then go to a
just
guest.
going around this way.
Yeah, we're going around counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Shit, I gotta figure out which one's my fifth.
So you go for
I'm stuck on my fifth as well.
Some of these lists I feel are quite fluid. They could move around slightly.
mine definitely can.
I'm locked in.
Okay, I know what my number 5 is. You're gonna fucking call me crazy, I think.
Oh.
Go for it.
Oh, you crazy.
My number 5 game of the year is Astro Bot.
Oh, number 5.
Number 5.
Wow, that is clickbait in itself.
Fuck me.
Yeah, it's
That's going on the thumbnail.
wild. I never would have thought it would be number 5, but
Fuck.
I've written the list down. I'm looking at it and I think, yeah, I prefer that game. I prefer that game. I prefer that game. I prefer that game. So it has to be 5th.
Wow.
Fucking
It's going to be a
hell.
strong list,
Oh
this.
my god.
I mean, it's on my list. And is it on either of your lists?
It's on everyone's list, I think.
It is indeed.
I mean, kind of safe to say it probably is, yeah.
Yeah, I think Astro Bot. If I
know.
I've got a theory, right?
It hurt me to say it.
I want you to humour me before we open up to the rest of the guys, because obviously if it's on the list, we got to kind of talk about it here. For me, Astro Bot, if I hadn't have gone back and replayed these DLC levels they've added in, like the time trials, the festive Christmas one, I would have probably been in a similar
I haven't
mindset
played
to
them.
yourself.
Yeah.
Where I would have thought, look back at it and think, yeah, it was great at the time, I loved it, but it's kind of forgettable. Whereas going back and I've been having a constant dose of it, especially as Cassian, my son, is just constantly playing it. And I've seen things being like, God damn, that casino level was really good. Or going back and playing like the boss fights against like the monkey where he's like hitting like, buildings down on you and stuff like that. I have a newfound appreciation of it compared to I did even a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the festive level was just fucking fantastic. It's a level where it mixes all the powers into one.
That's what I say.
And to
amazing.
use them all.
I haven't played
Great.
that yet.
It's
It's
fantastic.
so good.
Yeah.
It's
It is really
fantastic.
good. I played it as well. It's very good.
So, do you think that's part of the reason why?
I think it's 100% part of the reason why. Because Astro's Playroom alone, I put 40, 50 hours in maybe. It's only a 4-hour fucking game. I got the plat in 4 hours. But those speed runs, I was obsessed with them.
Yeah, we got more speed.
We were
runs now.
playing, you've already said this off, RE5. And whilst we were playing, my ex would beat my freaking record. And I'd be like, sorry mate, 5 minutes, I'll be back now. And I'd close RE5, open up Astro, beat her record, and then come back on. I'd be like, yeah, I got you. She messaged me saying she was crying after that. I made her cry. Wow. She spent hours trying to beat
And
me.
that's
beat
why
her
you
again.
choose your ex now.
Yeah, well. It's what it is.
She wasn't quick enough, bro.
But if I had Astro Bot, if I had the games, obviously I just lent it off for you to play it. I think I'd still be playing it today with those speedruns.
I mean, you completed it in 6 hours? I think you literally non-stop played it from start to finish and got the platinum, right?
I beat it in a day, yeah.
Yeah,
I got
it was
from
mad.
boot to platinum. It's within a 24-hour window.
Because I thought I rushed it, and then I got the platinum already. I'm like, oh, okay. You beat me to the platinum, and I had it a day before you, I think. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I do that sometimes. Spider-Man, I did that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I think-
game you love, right?
Yeah.
I think it's the best. I think it's the best 3D platformer that doesn't have the word Mario in the title. Honestly,
I'd agree.
It's
Yep.
right up there.
I agree.
My favorite, the reason I love video games is because of Super Mario. That's what got me into video games is platforming, and I absolutely adore Astro. I was watching the game when we were talking about the Game Awards. I was watching the orchestra when the Astro Bot music kicked in. I was like, I got a little teared up. Honestly, it was like, oh, this is amazing. This is really good. And I am an Xbox guy. We all know that. That's the right word here. But I didn't realize I have a load of nostalgia for PlayStation IP and PlayStation games. Going through it, it's just such a nostalgia bomb. Everything, it's just I adore Astro Bot. That game's so good. I'm shocked it's your number 5, mate. I'm sorry.
I'm shocked by it as well.
It's such a good game.
Well, it also appears on my list, surprise, surprise, because I rated this quite highly after finishing Astro Bot. But I've had some time apart from Astro Bot and may or may not have moved around slightly on my list. But it's not as low as you, Spans. I think 5 is a little harsh, and I'm really looking forward to finding out what 1, 2, 3, and 4 is, because maybe that will make me change what I'm going to be playing relatively soon, because they're going to have to be amazing games. Because Astro Bot was great, and we all raved about it at the time of playing it, and you've said because of the DLC you're still dipping in, dipping out, and there's still content there to consume, and I like that, and I didn't expect that.
No.
But it's a nice little added Brucey bonus, if you like, that they're including that type of stuff moving forward, and I'm welcoming it, because for Astro Bot it's an amazing game, but once you finish it, you've got to understand now what that means for PlayStation. And I think having a game like Astro Bot now has defined its own mini genre within PlayStation, targeted towards sort of the younger market. And as you said, you got into video gaming for Mario. People are now getting into gaming because of Astro Bot. He is that entry-level game that a lot of people are going to grow up loving. Your son Cass, for Christmas, what did you buy him?
I bought him an Astro Bot plushie. And
Exactly.
He fucking loves it. It's his favourite present.
It wouldn't be 5 on his list. It'd be number 1, wouldn't it?
It would. 100%.
So for me, it is slightly higher in my list because I think it has meant a lot for PlayStation to come out and just nail what they needed to do in that sort of area. And I think going forward, we're going to see a lot more of Astro Bot.
Oh, yeah.
And I welcome it. I can't wait for it. Can't wait for the future Astro Bot.
I mean, we've long said the future. We all said, at the time of playing Astro's Playroom, that game stood up there with the best of them. Even when you're looking at that day one kind of experience, the DualShock and DualSense and everything else, and feeling the way when he walked along ice and the rain pattering down and all that stuff, and how great Team Asobi nailed that. And to bring that into a full-size adventure and to make it better than Playroom is just fucking insane. Absolutely insane. And I think that if I hadn't gone back and done these levels, I think I probably would have chucked it down. And now it's become a really hard thing of where I place it on my list. It obviously appears, and it's been the most fluid. It's gone all the way across, up and down that gambit, and it's been such a hard thing to be able to nail down. I understand where you're coming from. I totally do, because even when we were coming to review it, and we were speaking about it on the podcast a week and a half after I'd finished it and got the platinum, even then I was like getting a bit like, yeah, it was great, but it's kind of done, and I kind of passed
I've
it.
been away from it.
I don't think I even gave it a 10. Or if I did give it a 10, it was definitely, I talked it down a little bit. Whereas I think going back and then being like, oh fuck me, this is actually so fucking good. Like it just reminds you immediately.
Spence, do you feel, and it is probably an impossible question to answer, but in my opinion, I think if you had owned the game and you had more access to play this game, I think it would be higher on your list because you would have spent a lot more time in it. Because for the time you had it, you played loads and then probably couldn't go back because Davey had to lend it to everybody else. If you had it there at your house, I think you'd play a lot more and it might feature slightly higher.
I could not agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only talking from my circumstance, my situation.
Exactly.
The amount of time I spent with the game and the way I played it and how I can't play it more. Yeah, it's 5th. If I had those speedruns, it'd be number 1, mate. I'll tell you right now. I fucking love Astro speedruns.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can bring Astro Bot up later if anyone else does want to riff on it, or for any other games if you want to. But I'm going to say my final remark on Astro Bot right now. Astro Bot is, as you said, Lewis, I think you summed it up perfectly. It's the best platformer outside of Mario. And I think even then it rivals... To even be in the conversation with Mario is just such a fucking honor, you know? And for them to go up on their Game of the Year nomination speech and to be like, yeah, we're so influenced by these, we're so great to be in the kind of presence of them.
Humble as fuck.
Super humble.
Yeah.
To be there and you think, well, you don't have to fucking, nod your head so much. You're fucking up there with them. Like, you'll fucking won a Game of the Year award now at this point. Like, you're going to have some big fucking shoes to move around with. And I'm sure the PlayStation before were saying, like, oh, just do whatever you want. It's probably not going to do that well, compared to like, a Last of Us 3 or something like that. But for it to like get out there and win like a fuck ton of awards and to get this much praise from players.
I think it's one of those now.
It definitely
you talk
is.
about God of War, you talk about The Last of Us.
Yeah, 100%.
We're now talking about the next Astro Bot.
And
I think it is.
I think there's something to say on the back of what you just said in terms of when you're looking at the future of gaming at the moment, or especially the gaming that I recognise as gaming, is catered towards an aging market, right? Like, you think all the experiences that we're looking forward to are... When I talk to Joseph, which is Karen, my girlfriend's son, he's 11, he doesn't have a fucking clue about, like, the Wolverine game or about, like, Go See Utai or any of these. Doesn't care. What he's interested in is the next season of Fortnite. And he's just talking to me about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've got to get him at this age. Like, I know that with the gaming that I'm putting Cassie through at the moment, where it's being very Nintendo based because they all kids games, and then Astro, it's a case of, right, well, this is the fucking gateway, right? Like, this is you then move from this into that. Whereas if you don't have that and you just come in on a like free to play multiplayer experience, people then seem to find it quite hard to be able to sit down and have like a narrative kind of game because they've never kind of had that, Like, I don't know if I'm making sense here.
Yeah, I feel like podcasts of the future are going to be quite boring.
Yeah,
because we're going to just talk about the next season of COD or Fortnite, or they're probably all going to blend to one game, aren't they? And it's just the next skin or the next mode within a certain game that everyone plays.
They're all be on their mobile
Variety for the future looks pretty dim if they only go down that route. But having something like Astro Bot with the the quality that Nintendo seem to just pull out their arse every single year,
every year.
It's a positive thing. And I really hope Xbox at some point start to bring out that level of gaming.
Bring back Blinks the Cat, mate.
Bring back
Oh yeah,
that was a class game.
Banjo-Kazooie needs to come back.
Exactly.
Yes,
those sort of games.
Yeah. I mean, I have a hot take when it comes to Astro Bot. I think Astro Bot is my favourite PS5 exclusive.
Ever.
Wow.
And it is the game that has justified my purchase of the PS5 more than anything else. Before playing Astro Bot, I was like, I wish I didn't buy this really. I don't play it enough. But after Astro Bot, I've kind of become a PlayStation guy again.
Do you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like half-hour game time in Ragnarok.
It does.
Yeah, it reeks of it, mate. It does.
I mean, do I need to play Ragnarok when I can play it in Astro Bot? Like,
yes.
Well, you need to know the references, right?
I mean, I was nostalgic for that.
How can it be nostalgic if you haven't got any reference points?
I beat 2018.
Like Loco Roco for me, it didn't hit. in Astro
I love
Bot
Loco
because I
Roco.
never played Loco Roco. I knew what it was.
I got emotional on that.
I knew what it was, but I never actually played the original. So that level for me just was a complete miss. All the others, obviously, I played, but Loco Roco just fell a bit short. Now, for you, never really playing Ragnarok.
I mean, I beat 2018. I beat the first God of War remake. So.
You get enough from it.
Yeah,
then,
I loved it. I loved Astro Bot and all the references to other stuff. I just love it. I'm sorry. I just love it.
Well, there's been a conversation a long time coming on the podcast, and we said this back when we did our review, and we said that when we get to Game of the Year, enough time will have passed that we can talk about this. What was your favourite power and favourite level from Astro Bot? Because we said that we would talk about this, and we never did. And so I think now is the time. I'll kick off. Favourite power for me, 100%, is stopping time. Yeah. I think it's just fantastic in every single way.
Everyone's going to say that.
It's
I
so good.
I had a different one.
I have a different one.
Yeah.
So stopping time for me, 100%. I found it so... Every time you can stop time in a game, and reference back to Blinks the Cat, always class. Like, always bad.
Always sick.
Always great.
Yeah.
But for me, my favourite level is Loco Roco level. To me, I did not expect Loco Roco at all. And I was like, fucking hell, they've thrown back to Loco fucking Roco? Like, I haven't seen this game since PS3. And here it is, getting prime time with the likes of fucking Horizon and fucking God of War. And Uncharted. It's like,
ridiculous.
Oh my god, what a fucking pull this is. And then it opened my eyes then to think, oh my god, we could have a fucking Patapon level for all I know. Like, it could be anything here at this point.
Astro Bot 2.
And I loved it. And Cassie's been playing Loco Roco on the PlayStation 5 because you can download it from the PlayStation Store. And he's been playing it. I've been putting him on it. And when he got to that level in Astro Bot, he was like, Loco Roco! He just loved it. He absolutely loved it. Amazing. And so he was like, can I make them split apart? And he does it. He's like, that's
what I was like playing it.
Like all coming apart and then all shaking together. It's just so cool, man. It's just such a fucking great pull, and I never would have called it in a million years. So that, for me, favourite level, hands down, and favourite ability is time. What about yourself, Mr. Toy?
Well, favourite level, I assume I've got to pick one of the tie-in levels.
Don't have to. No.
I mean, they were the better levels, but there was one level, and it relates to a power, because I really liked the one where you could shrink.
Oh, that was a great power.
That was a great power and a great level.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved everything that happened within that. Yeah, and I played it probably the most over and over. Even after 100% in the level where you collect everything within the level, I went back and played it because it's just a beautiful level and a beautifully thought about level in the way you traverse, especially when you get to the room.
Yeah. And
then you realise you can go under the covers. And then under the bed and then up on the side.
So
and it was so cool. It was very good.
It was. Do you know what? That level was the level where I thought this is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
This is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That one moment, I was like, when I shrunk down and realised, oh my god, I can go into like the plant pots, I can go all through the grass.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so well designed. I remember just this thought just fucking echoing on my head. I was like, they fucking done it.
You go on the washing line and the wind blows and you're like, shit!
So good.
Don't want to fall. Look how high I am.
So,
it was really, really cool. I love that level. But if I'm picking one of the sort of tie-in levels, for me it was the Uncharted level. Yeah, I'm a big Uncharted fan. And the way they put that together with the little gun, it's just beautiful. Like everything within that level just made me chuckle and smile. You would have thought your prediction probably would have been the Horizon because I'm a massive Horizon fanboy, but the Uncharted one really won it for me because it was just so nice. And then when you get to see Victor Constance Sullivan and pick him up, class.
Amazing, absolutely amazing, great choice. What about yourself, Lewis?
I was going to say the Uncharted one. You kind of saw my thunder all there. It's just the music and getting the golden eggs and just all the references. Like the reason I bought a PS3 was for the Uncharted 1 and 2 and 3, like that trilogy. Those games are just fantastic. Yeah, I absolutely adore it. And I really like the God of War level, even though I haven't played Ragnarok. I was just like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, you can throw the axe and there's like all the crows everywhere. It's finding is it Nia and Mia with just a head? Just a head cracked me up so much. Seeing the Astro Bot with just a head. It's like yes, that's an amazing reference. I love it. I also want to give out I want to talk about getting all the Metal Gear Solid bots.
Yes.
Seeing
That was cool.
Psychomantis and
That
all
was
that.
very
Oh
cool.
my god.
Great. A lot of them, yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would say
amazing.
Uncharted's probably my favourite level, and time stopping. I know you guys have both said it, but yeah, those are the best. So.
Finally, something we agree on.
Yay!
Yay! We could be friends.
So, bringing it back round to yourself, Spence, what do you reckon? What's your favourite ability and level?
For me, I think my favourite ability is kind of torn up between two, but it's none of the ones you guys have said.
Really?
I think my favourite one is building the ice ramps.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
great power.
yeah.
Oh,
I
that's a good
think
one.
it's sick, and just graphically when you do it, and like the ice disperses, I think it looks fucking great. And you have freedom with it. You can kind of put them wherever. Sick, great fucking power, and you feel like Iceman. You know, feel like Bobby fucking skiing
you
on
do,
the thing.
you do,
I was like, yo, this is sick.
And it's easier than it looks.
Way
I think it
easier.
looks super impressive when you do it, but actually when you're controlling it, it's super like intuitive.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Mega, yeah.
Because it's not real, right? I don't know how they based it on anything, but it just felt really natural to create the ice and go along it, then create the next bit and jump across it. Just felt bless.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
In terms of level, and I'm stealing your thunder here, Loco fucking Roco, man.
Oh.
I genuinely got emotional when it came on. So I was like, no fucking way is Loco Roco
That
in
was the
this
big
game.
surprise, really, wasn't
I
it? That
couldn't fucking believe it. Every other world was like, yeah, new games, new bigs, other than Uncharted, I suppose. Like, these are the defining PlayStation fucking
Franchises.
franchises. And then like, also, fucking Loco Roco. Couldn't believe it. And it controls the exact same way. I was like, I was cast, mate.
Yeah.
I was cast. I was like, can I split? I can split! Oh,
Sick.
so fucking sick.
Also, the last level is incredible with the,
Oh
the,
my
the
God.
ships of like assembling all the PlayStation peripherals and
Yeah.
consoles and
Yeah.
spaceships. And
There was a lot of
There's a lot
amazing
of-
moments throughout the whole
that
game,
game's
wasn't
incredible. Play it. It's great.
I'm hoping that everyone listening to this will.
Yeah.
And or has already.
And
if
don't
you
be
haven't.
put off having it number 5 in Spencer's list.
Top 5 games of the year. That's quite good.
Still
Yeah,
good.
it is good.
That's quite good.
It is
Top
good.
5.
Out of 6.
Well, let's move it on from there. And actually, just before I do, I will say this is just for yourself, Spence, because the audience probably knows. One of the time trial levels, ice power.
Say less.
It opens up so many possibilities for routes. It's
Say less.
insane. It's
Well,
absolutely insane.
tomorrow I'll smoke all your fucking times.
Oh yeah. But they're Cassian's times, but yeah, you
I'll
feel good
smoke
about
him.
yourself beating a 6-year-old, mate.
I'll feel great.
Feel good about yourself.
great.
Feel good about yourself. Well, let's move it on then. Lewis, we'll come around to yourself. What is your number 5?
Oh, I can't. I've been back and forth with this one for like a week or weeks. My number 5 was locked in for a very, very long time until very recently, and now it's been bumped off. My number 5 is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Oh, 5.
We're starting with some big scalps.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game, but I haven't played enough of it. It might be my number 1 or number 2 in a couple of weeks, but I'm only like 3 or 4 levels into it, but I'm really enjoying it from what I played so far. It's not what you're expecting. It's not an Uncharted game. It's more like a Dishonored or
great.
or Prey or
Say less.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like Dishonored?
No, I love
No,
Dishonored. I
I
love
Oh, yeah.
Dishonored.
But yeah, and it's like got the slapstick humor to it. Like you're hitting, you just bonking people over the heads with stuff and shoving them off walls, and then just go. It's just fun. It's just a fun game. I'm really enjoying it. Troy Baker absolutely kills it as Harrison Ford. You cannot tell the difference. I swear to God, I'm a massive indie fan, and I'm like, this is like there can't be Troy Baker. That's got to be Harrison Ford. It sounds and looks well. It obviously looks like Harrison Ford. But it sounds just like Harrison Ford. It's identical. His voice is perfect. His voice is perfect. The game is so much fun. It's only my number 5 because it's low on my list because it's new-ish and I've not really got.
We get that.
Yeah, I've played it enough to
Makes
really
sense.
say put it higher. And it's been. I was like, do I put it in my top 5 because I haven't played it enough? But I'm like, yeah, I better because this game's just great, and I know none of you guys will mention it, so I thought I needed to rep the Xbox.
Get it in, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like watching the Indiana Jones film, and then also it's like a really fun stealth game. it's just great. I love it, and I'm disappointed that you guys can't play it yet. But when you guys play it next, in 3-4 months,
Yeah,
we'll
3
definitely
months.
have a proper discussion about it because it is so good. It is such a good game.
Can't wait.
And I want to play more of it now, but I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. But it's fine because it's so good. But yeah, that is my number 5.
So I'm going to say something controversial here, Lewis.
Ooh.
I'm really surprised it's done so well, Indiana Jones. Genuinely surprised.
No, I am as well, to be fair.
How this game has almost saved Xbox, right? And it's moved it from being, third on the list to top, in your opinion, of years for consoles. Now, Indiana Jones, for me, and I'm 40, is it that popular?
Yes.
Yeah.
For you specifically, and you specifically, sure.
I'm not a massive indie guy, but yes.
But is Indiana Jones, for my generation, that popular? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm the complete outlier here.
Yeah.
And then people younger for me, I would have said, have got less and less into indie.
I mean, I get
So
that.
as an IP, if you're going to choose any IP in the world and you've chosen Indiana Jones to put everything into, and they've done a superb job and it's come across really well, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that IP still resonates to the level that it does today.
I
I
think
think it's because it hasn't been milked as much as Star Wars and stuff. How many
Also
Star
true.
Wars games are there? And there's
it's so good though.
there's not many. This is the best Indiana Jones game, but that's not really saying much because there's not really any other. There's a couple, but yeah.
I think it's just one of those things that there's certain franchises that are timeless for generations, and I think
Remember how biased you are towards everything Arnold Schwarzenegger here, right?
No, not
that's
Arnie
what you've
stuff.
got to kind of just keep in your mind, right?
uh,
Not everyone loves Arnold Schwarzenegger to the level you do.
What are you talking about?
Terminator isn't the best movie of all time, right?
Whoa, it's up there, But let's take it right. So franchises that are absolutely timeless are like Back to the Future, the fucking Lord of the Rings trilogy. They're ones that everyone, no matter how old you are or how young you are, you could put in front of them. They'd be like, this bangs. I didn't get any of the references to 1950s stuff from Back to the Future. No references.
That's true.
But it slaps tits. It's just a fucking phenomenal movie and that a phenomenal franchise. And you know that if there was... fuck me, I went to go watch the stage play for fucking Back to the Future a year ago. It's fucking amazing, right? I love it, right? I think there's certain things, and Indie's definitely one of those, that no matter what the age, they're so timeless. Like Jaws is.
At
You
least
put
the original
anyone,
trilogy,
any age.
anyway.
Yes.
Not
yeah.
Crystal Skull or Dawn of Destiny's okay, but the original trilogy for sure. Like Raiders for sure.
Oh, Raiders, Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, bro, they all slap.
Yeah, for sure.
So I get why it's done well, okay? Because it really digs into exactly what you're talking about. It digs into kind of the fandom of indie, massive fan. It digs into the aging gamer, which we all are now. Yeah. We would class ourselves in that bracket. Spence, you're getting towards it. Look how long your facial hair is
It's
now.
been a minute, yeah.
You would definitely not get ID'd in Waitrose.
I got ID'd today.
Oh, did you?
I got ID'd today buying wine for your missus.
Really?
Yeah.
He thought he's trying too hard by
And I thought,
he's
in
16.
fucking mine,
He's drawn that on.
He's put his suit on.
That's one of those fake moustaches. Who are you?
also in my fucking place of work. I was like, you cheeky bitch. I see you every day. You think I buy something I'm not old enough to buy where I work? You fucking little rat. She was little as well.
So in that regard, it's done very well because it's saw a need and it's very much capitalised on that need. But if we're talking about the breadth of gaming out there at the moment, and you've got all these kids on an Xbox playing Fortnite, because primarily they're either on PC or on Xbox, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
The majority of the Fortnite crowd, because Xbox is the affordable way to play games, you would have said. These days.
I'd agree.
Series S.
Cheapest way into the market, really.
No one's playing Fortnite on the Switch.
If I know nothing about gaming, I'm just buying my kid an Xbox and they're playing Fortnite.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. Do we all kind of agree on that?
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, the Series S, yeah.
It's that or a PS4. The kids are getting PS4s now.
Okay.
Because you can customise them with Fortnite shit on and stuff.
Okay.
But
all right.
you don't need a PS5 for Fortnite. It's the thing.
But if you're looking to capitalise on the market of Xbox, the IP of Indiana Jones, I'm surprised has done so well. That's what I was trying to say.
No, I get that. It's almost like, because we had Call of Duty in November, and then this is kind of like the follow-up to that on Game Pass, is like to keep people in. So
It's huge
yeah,
game,
it's
huge
really
game.
good.
It's what you should have been doing all year for the last 4 years.
Yeah, honestly, I'm
10.
surprised. I was expecting this game to be a dud, and it's fantastic.
I wanted it to be a dud because in the Fantasy League, this was my counter pick. I thought it was going to bomb, and I kind of hoped it would, but I'm really glad it hasn't.
You call me tribal, jeez.
But no, I'm really happy for you. I
Touche.
really, and I'm really glad this is this got into your list. I wish you put more hours in.
Yeah.
Only selfishly for me, so I can know kind of what I'm looking forward to, because I cannot wait for this. And I know I said it once, I said it 1,000 times, but this is the game that if this was Xbox 360 era and they just never came over,
Yeah.
I would have bought one for this. 100% I would have. And then I would have been able. I would have though, man. And I would have been able to enjoy Halo. And I'd be able to, and that's it. I was getting ropey after Halo. So.
I would have been able to go on YouTube.
Probably an
They're
internet
not
browser.
realistic at all.
Is there an internet browser on there? Maybe.
You'd assume so.
Oh, well,
You've
no,
probably got Edge.
PS5 doesn't.
Yeah, PS5 doesn't. Is there an internet browser on the Xbox?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
So I would have been
Is
able
it
to.
Edge?
You can jack off.
Yeah, it is Edge.
Of
course it is.
Edge.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Edge on Edge.
But point goes, I'm really happy for you, and I'm really looking forward to playing it in a couple of months. Yeah. Really.
And I will be buying it regardless of what I think of the IP. Just putting it out there. I do want to play it. It looks amazing.
It's a great game. You'll
I'll lend it
enjoy
off you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Looks
I'll
amazing.
be getting a physical.
I ain't buying that shit.
I'll
man.
buy that collector's.
Weird.
Bro, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Great look at that hat.
mate, I want
Just comes with a whip. That's
Oh,
why he's
God.
buying it.
I'd buy it if it came with a whip.
if it came with a whip and if it came with a fedora, if it came with
The hat and the whip.
oh my god, buy it.
I'd have to buy collector's
Heartbeat,
edition.
heartbeat. But
Indeed.
let's move it on. Halima. Let's move it on from here. So it's to the Indiana Jones podcast. Mr. Hoy, what's your number 5?
What is my number 5? That is a good question because we wrote these earlier. Now, once you have a bit of facial hair, Spence, you'll learn that if you stroke it, people think that you're thinking. So you look instantly more intelligent. So what I should do is pull out a pair of glasses, put those on, start stroking my beard, and my opinion after that will be rated slightly higher. But I haven't got glasses. I'm just going to stroke the beard for a couple more seconds while I bide time and think what I need to say about Concord. Because we've said...
shit.
We've said a hell of a lot about Concord because we almost turned into the Concord podcast over the last couple of months because Concord really hit, and it hit well for us. It hit us in the right place, it hit at the right time, and we spent a lot of time over the 2 weeks that we got this game. That's all we got, 2 weeks. But it feels like it was a lot more, and I feel like the amount of hours that we put in and the amount of excitement... so disappointed in the way it turned out because it was so much there for us. It was the perfect game for us, I believe. There was a breadth of characters that spoke to each one of us individually. There was stuff to get excited about. There was a lot of bullshit in it, which you could just completely ignore and just play the core game. And the core game was fun as hell. And it could be casual, but if you worked as a team, it could be really sweaty.
Yeah.
Really, really fucking sweaty. And when you come up against a team that was as organised as us, and hell, we're not that organised. Okay, we get together every couple of weeks to do a podcast. We always miss the fucking day.
Always.
We say we're recording Friday. When do we record? Monday.
Yeah.
When's the episode got to be out? Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're not that organised. But we were able to organise ourselves into a semi-cohesent team and get some synergies between characters, and they started to blossom, didn't they, these characters, right? Surface level, you were like, okay, this character does this, okay, this character does that, and people would just run in and gun. That's not how you play Concord.
That's how I played it.
And you played it very well,
Yeah,
because I think specifically your character did that very, very well.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other characters, it took a little bit of time to get into, but once you started to understand it and you found that perfect character, chef's kiss. Concord is my number 5, and I'm so sorry we lost it.
I gotta jump in here. It's not on my list. It's a HM for me, and it's a HM only because it's a game that I didn't have more time with.
Yeah.
And I think for me the highlight of it is being able to not only get together, which is always a fantastic time, but it's to be able to get some of our audience in and to really be that. I felt like at certain points this year, I felt like we were the only place that was positive about this game. And I know we would. We couldn't have been the only ones, right? There must have been someone. But from everything I was seeing online, it felt like as if we were the only beacon of light in this fucking cesspool of hate. And we dug into it, right? And we all found something that played to our strengths. And we all had different roles that we could kind of jump between whenever we needed to. And like, I think for myself, like, really gravitated towards like Rocker immediately, and then went to Deviers because I thought, oh, the team synergy with this. And then as soon as I found Amari, it was like, oh well, fucking, we got it. And it was like the full team kind of worked, and it was such a
me and my team.
Oh, me and my crew.
Me and my crew. That long ago, me and my crew.
And so we just kind of just forged it. And I didn't give a fuck about, and we've spoken about in length about the problems the game has in terms of like the crew builder and all that bollocks, but the crew builder was you guys and Maloon.
Yeah.
And just getting us together and getting time with Maloon and just being all of us just being really positive and just willing to adapt strategy or to be able to listen to each other and to be able to make sure that we got that W by adapting to the play was just fucking amazing. And we just don't have that outside of a game that will feature later on the list, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's not many games out there that once you start losing, you can't not lose. Now, I'm talking specifically about COD when we've played it in the past. Once you sort of find yourself losing, it's very hard to turn that around unless you're absolutely cracked. I felt like with Concord, you could just go, guys, we're losing, and then put more effort in and actually turn it around. And it felt doable with every character from every aspect of it. Yeah. And I really felt they found something really super unique there within FPSs, within kind of multiplayer that you don't see very often. You know, take League, for example. Once you start losing, to stop that snowball is almost impossible. It happens so rarely, especially at our level when we've been playing. You're probably at a slightly higher level. You've been playing a hell of a lot. But even at the top level, to actually turn a game around, unbelievably difficult. But Concord had something there that did that, and it made it fun.
It was just that moment where you could just be like somebody like, and you'd all be so invested in that moment-to-moment gameplay that somebody would divert from the plan. He'd be like, get the fuck back. We'd all be shouting, like, get the fuck back. Like, what are you doing?
It's good team.
You're getting your shield. Getting the fucking shield power up now before you go in. Don't throw away the point. We've got 3 points to gain back. Do not move. And everyone would be like, whoa, sorry. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. So like, getting greedy about it. And we just got so fucking driven. And it was just, like, playing against those devs and being, like, 24 points down out of 30... and then having to go on basically a 30-win fucking streak without any deaths. We are all just fucking guarding each other. You weren't there that night, Spence.
No. It was one of the best nights of gaming in my entire life. It was so good.
To be able to just all of us be like, none of you fucking move. This person would be like, I'm really low. And be like, right, I'm walking into cover.
I'm putting healing down. Come back. Put another healing down.
And be like shielding them back into the safety so we cannot lose a fucking point.
I'll tell you right now, if I was there, you wouldn't have been down 24.
No, that's very true. That's very true. That's very true.
That's very true. You know.
It was class. It was fucking amazing. Well done, Phil. I'm glad you put it there.
I'm surprised. I was going to say I haven't really spoken on it. It's not on my list.
Wow.
I know. I thought about it as well. Yeah. I'm surprised it's your 5th. I thought it'd be higher because Concord was so good.
I've played some good games though.
Yeah,
it's
fair.
Some really good games this year.
Concord for me was very much, it just came and went, didn't it? And I think the thing is, I don't actually miss it, which is a bad sign.
Oh, I do.
But then the more I think about it, COD wouldn't have even been a question this year.
No, it wouldn't have.
Wouldn't have been a question because we'd be so up in Concord's fucking arse. I think, it's a real fucking shame it got killed off when it did.
I think we'd be going to tournaments. We got into it. I reckon. In a big way.
That'd be so sick.
Because as soon as you started to face a team that had a bit of coordination, the game just got instantly
the comms changed.
It just got really tense. It changed the game. When you were just walking over a team, it was easy and you could have a bit of a laugh and you could change the characters and play with some of the other wanky systems that were in the game. But as soon as you're against someone hard, everyone's like, no, lock into the character you're good at. Stay as that character. Don't worry about all this bollocks perk stuff. And let's play as a team and win.
I mean, what I remember the most about playing Concord is that the one night I was trying out a new character to try and get the platinum trophy, and Phil was pissed. He hated my guts.
Who's that guy?
I was like, stop using this character. You're terrible with this character. Stop it. Ah. I was like, well, I'm healing people. I'm helping the team. No, you're not. You'll take our score down. I'm like, oh, okay, Phil. Sorry.
Oh,
Phil.
this is assist gate, right? This is when you're
Assist
like,
gate.
I got 21 assists,
Assist.
and he's like, but you got 21 deaths.
Yeah.
You're useless, Lewis. Assist gate.
He was
Assists don't mean anything. It's like, yes, they do.
like, I forget the name of the character, but it was the mushroom guy.
Mushroom
It's,
man,
um,
yeah.
So you were stood at the back shooting mushrooms, or you should have been,
Should have
but instead you
mushrooms.
decided to run in. You weren't even playing the character correctly. But
oh shit!
but one character you did play correctly, and you did very, very well in, and I wanted you to change because I wanted to be carried slightly, was Starchild.
Yes.
You did very, very well with Starchild. You understood that you run in
I'd have
and
killed-
push everyone, and you were very good at that. Why did you deviate? I don't understand.
Platinum trophy, baby. That's all it was. I wanted to get all the. I wanted to
You
get all the
slag.
I know.
You
50
absolute
That would
slag.
have been my 16th platinum this year, and I'm so annoyed that I couldn't get it
That
because
sucks.
the server shut off. I'm so
Yeah.
annoyed. But yeah, Starchild was the guy, man. I could get like a 10 kill streak or something, just go around, wipe their whole team, and they would just be pissed off. It was so much fun. That game was great. It's not on my list, but I'm nostalgic for it now. Now we're
Yeah,
talking about it.
I
like,
think-
I kind of miss it now.
I think if it was still out, it would be on my list
Yeah.
because we'd have spent so much more time.
It'd be higher on my list.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Might be
I had a
number
fabulous
one.
time.
Or two.
It would have been high. I think it would have knocked down a game that comes up later on my list.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is wild to say.
I think it knocked down a lot of mine. But fun fact about Concord before we move
Whoa.
on.
Oh, okay.
Fun little fact. Speaking of platinums,
I like fun.
after the closing of Concord on PSN profiles, which is where people go to track their platinums and everything,
Know very well.
the number of people that got a platinum in Concord
Yeah.
was 69
Really?
No way.
until
Oh.
one person signed up for fucking PSN profiles and now is 70.
Oh.
There was a whole
you,
fucking
screw you
article
bastard.
about it.
You bastard.
There was a whole article of like this person ruined Concord's platinums or something. It was great.
Oh man, for shame on that person.
For shame.
For shame.
69 dudes.
I mean, I enjoyed this game even more than Call of Duty this year. I barely played Call of Duty, but Concord, I think it was a decent game. I don't get all the hate it got. I really don't.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We've covered
He, him, she, her.
We've covered it to death, and
Yeah.
I just want to say just one last time to Concord, boys.
to Concord.
To Concord.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Hey.
Go on.
Cheers.
Well, my number 5, boys. Don't do that.
All over the electricals.
My number 5, boys, is a little indie game that I was really looking forward to that actually Spence put on my radar. And it turned out that it was one of the best survival horrors I've played in a long time. Crow Country. Coming in at my number 5. It was a fantastic experience. It is basically the easiest way to explain it. It's a gateway to survival horror.
Yeah.
It offers so many options for those that want to just be able to have a, enemy-free experience, to have no fear, and it gives the puzzles there. It gives and it just gives a replayability that classic survival horror does so well.
Yeah.
And it just nails that. And the Platinum Trophy took me eventually, I think, 3 playthroughs, to be able to do. And you get to the point where you can just fucking run it. And it's so fun. And I imagine that it'd be one of those games that in years gone by, that people will speed run and it'd be super fucking fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because I got my first time down from about 6 hours down to about an hour and a half in the end. You think you got to do under 2 hours for the play, don't you?
Yeah.
And so I think we got down to about an hour and 28, around about there. And I know that I could make it so much quicker if I was really trying to perfect it.
Yeah.
And that's what survival horror should be. That's the core of it, right? Is that replayability and that ability to be able to go in and just remember where you need to go, and the pathfinding that makes each playthrough so original. And a great fucking story. Like a really great story.
really good story.
Like better than most survival horror stories. Fucking fantastic.
I was going to say, most survival horror stories, they can be a little ropey.
Oh, mega ropey. This is
Yeah.
so good. And it's got such
Great.
a great ending to it. It's a phenomenal game. And I know that The only other person who's played this is yourself, Spencer. Have you got any thoughts on Crow Country?
Well, it does feature on my list.
Oh!
It does. Above Astro as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Astro, wow.
Yeah, you'd be amazed because I was thinking about Crow Country when I was looking at my list, and I thought, fuck, I loved Crow Country. You've put it perfectly. It's just the story is fucking brilliant, really, really good, and it's telling you throughout the whole game what the story is, but you don't understand that it's been telling you until you finish it.
So like Saw.
I suppose, kind of.
Yeah, kinda.
The first Saw tells you from the beginning.
Yeah, kind of like that, but just like in a twist. It's nuts.
I need to play this game.
Bro,
don't I?
It's
so
on my
good.
backlog. I really want to play it.
Yeah.
It's one of those games.
It's
so good.
Fucking brilliant. I adored Crow Country. I'm glad I told you about it.
Yeah.
And fucking my second playthrough, because I did that as well. I think mine's like 1 hour 20ish as well. Fuck me.
Get the
What a
speed
game.
shoes. Get the speed shoes, dude.
Yeah.
Whipping through and just be like, woo.
Jesus. Yeah, I was skirting around those enemies. You don't need. There's two modes. There's one with enemies off. You don't need it because the enemies are fucking nothing. You could beat the enemies, no trouble whatsoever. It's an easy game, but it's the story and the puzzles that make it what it is, and it is fucking brilliant.
Wow.
Crow Country.
There you go, boys.
Play it, both of you.
So I'm yet to have played it, and everything you guys have been sort of saying about it really, resonates with me. And it is a game that should be up on my backlist, but unfortunately, it's a digital game, right? You can't buy it physically.
No, not yet. I don't think.
Not yet.
Don't think so.
Do you think there may be a possibility of a
think so.
physical release?
There are
at some
people
point?
saying about it online, hoping it
Okay,
happens.
okay.
I think they might do like that company that does limited run.
Limited run games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this is one we should have pitched.
We'll get J-Rod on.
Yeah,
the,
get
case.
J-Rod on the case.
Yeah.
I would definitely buy a steelbook for it.
And I would
100%.
100%.
Fucking
Fuck
100%.
me, I'd buy collectors, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
I might reach out to him actually. Good point. Stay tuned, listeners. I'll ask J-Rod. I'll send him an email.
Does he want to put £30,000 down?
He'll sell it, man. The game's overwhelmingly positive on Steam. It's had fucking shed loads of reviews, and it's overwhelmingly positive. So I think if there's a game that is fucking rife for it. I mean, Spoon Alarma, not putting shade on it. It ain't on this list. So
It isn't.
not on mine.
And you got it free?
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Speed of lava.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. But yeah,
We can be bought.
need that Chinese money. That's what I need.
All that Russian money.
All that Russian money, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough said about our Russian overlords. The better.
One of our most popular episodes, that.
It was, yeah.
Weirdly. Don't know why.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, Russians watching it.
So we're back round.
Angrily, yeah.
We're back round to a number 4 then, boys. So
me.
Yep.
back over to yourself,
Whoa.
Mr. Spencer.
Don't give it away.
My number 4 is fucking Crow Country.
Hey.
We've literally just finished talking about it, so I won't talk about it a lot more, but fucking just brilliant game. You play it.
I will.
We should play it again.
Play again.
It's great, and you fucking play it. So fucking sick. That is it. Leave it there. It's a great game.
There you go.
So good.
I want to play again.
What about yourself, Lewis? What's your number 4?
Oof. Okay, I think you're gonna get mad at me, guys.
God.
This is like Spencer's Astro Bot call. This one. My number 4 is Helldivers 2.
Oh!
It's a fantastic
shit.
game. I loved it. I got the platinum for
Let
it.
the man speak.
It's absolutely an amazing game. There's 3 games I like more than that this year.
That's fair.
That's pretty much what it is. It's still an amazing game. One of my favorite games on PlayStation, and I loved it.
From PlayStation. I see what he's doing here.
I said on PlayStation.
Not from PlayStation.
Oh,
yet.
on PlayStation.
I said on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah, on
I
PlayStation.
really enjoyed it. I could have bought it on Steam, but I wanted to play it with you guys on PlayStation. We all played it on PS5. We had such fun. It's one of those games. The only thing I can really knock it down for is the platinum really pissed me off.
Fair.
We've had this discussion before.
Valid.
But that's their fault, wasn't it?
Yeah. 'Cause for people,
our fault.
for people who
Did
don't
you
know,
not let him get the platinum and wait for a
yeah,
release?
he's
No,
No. It's just
Sort
it's,
of.
yeah,
for people who
it's
don't
busy.
know.
it's not our fault that Dev's changed the thing. You
Yeah.
know?
For people who don't know, you need to get to level 3 in a certain ship build, and then to get the platinum. You guys both got to level 3. I was at level 2, and I almost got to level 3. And then they updated the game so you could get to level 4. And to get the platinum, you needed to get to level 4. When I was almost level 4, they moved it up to level 5.
That's so sick.
And it just pissed me right off. But I still
Guys,
enjoyed
you free tonight? Nope.
No.
Definitely not, Lewis. We're gonna have to wait till the next patch comes out, and then we'll play. We'll play a little more.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Thankfully, they haven't added to it. I've checked. They haven't added a 6th tier, which would have pissed me off even more. But I really enjoyed this game a lot. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But one of the cons of it is that I wouldn't play it on my own. It's only really good because of you guys.
True.
If I played it on my own,
I don't think any of us would play on our own.
No. It's
And we have. I've tried.
It's hard.
It's not fun.
rough,
It's
yeah.
not
It's
fun
rough.
at all.
It's not fun.
No.
No.
But I've had some of the best gaming experiences with you guys over the last year playing Helldivers. Such a great game. And as I said, the only thing is I've preferred free games more than that this year.
Yeah,
But it's still
Fair.
a fucking class game.
I think that's completely fair.
I'll tell you, I am amazed that did affect the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, we said this at the time. Like, it was
You
just.
said there's no way it affects the trophy. There's no way.
I remember saying that on chat. Yeah, like, nah, you'll be fine, mate. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
So
Don't worry.
pissed.
And then Arrowhead just fucking, they never miss, bro. They were just like, yeah.
I have never been so angry in my whole life. I was so fucking angry.
They don't miss.
They don't miss.
Even
bro.
after the games come out, they're still sorting us out.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah,
Legends.
yeah. You guys have got it. Davey Spencer, you guys have got it. But, this part-timer Xbox guy, he's got to work for it. He's got to work for it.
It's like you want a 6th ship module? Oh, we got you.
yeah.
But we haven't also played it since the Game Awards, so they've added the buggies and stuff. And
I have.
That might bump it up again. I haven't played it since. I want to play that.
I have indeed.
I have.
Not
Oh,
together.
jealous.
I'll jump in with my Helldivers thoughts. Helldivers,
Does it feature on your list?
it does feature on my list.
Okay, thank you.
At some point.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2 is everything I wanted. All I ever wanted, right, was that the world to know how good Helldivers was. And this year,
They did.
they fucking nailed it, right? It went from just being... I remember that time when it was shown on that fucking Sony State of Play, whatever it was, and I popped off. I went mental. And I looked online at like reactions later, and it was like nobody was like reacting at all to it. Like nobody knew what the fuck it was. And all I was saying for a long time, and we spoke about it on the show loads, on the run up when there's rumours and things like that, and just being like, fuck me, if this happens, I'm going to go nuclear. Right, I'm going to go fucking nuclear. And when it happened, it was like, oh my fucking god. Like, and it was just everything I wanted. I didn't even know they could do. I would have been happy just with better graphics, top-down view, same as it was. Totally fine. As soon as you put it into fucking third person, put it over the shoulder, it just changes everything. And there's pros and cons. I think the original Helldivers does a lot of things a little bit better than Helldivers 2.
Agreed.
But Helldivers 2 is a fucking absolute masterpiece. And it's going to be one of those games that I know I'm going to look back on at the end of this generation, and it'll be in the discussion. It will 100%, because it's one of those games that whenever there's new patches, new things being added in, it's always going to be installed.
It's one of those games in 2032 you're going to say you fancy some Helldivers 2.
Well, we're doing it now with Helldivers 1. So, not as often, but
Once.
still, we've got Helldivers 2 now.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, and it's just, they nailed it. If there's a studio that needs to be bought by Sony, it's Arrowhead. And it still has not happened. And I don't understand why.
Xbox buy him. It'd be so funny.
I bet you felt like when Significant Other came out. You were a $3 bill man, weren't you?
Oh, God,
Back in the day. Loved it. And as soon as they released Significant Other, you're like, fuck, it can be better.
Yes.
It can be better, guys. And for me, it was better because I never played the original Helldivers. I heard a lot about it. I heard a lot of positivity coming from you. But back in the day when you were playing Helldivers, I was out drinking and dating women, I think. Back in those days, I found the right girl, so I'm glad I did. But Helldivers 2 is definitely that Significant Other. It is my favourite game out of the series because it's the only one I've really spent enough time in, but it does feature on my list. Quite high. I want to say quite high. I don't want to oversell it. Let's talk about some negativity. Updates aren't as regular as maybe I hoped they would be.
Yep.
They almost sacked off half the world.
True.
Countries.
Doesn't affect me.
Yeah, it didn't bother me either.
It doesn't bother me.
Lewis is also right. I've got to wait until you guys are online to play, but let's be real. You're on on all the time.
Yeah.
It's me that's the problem, right? I'm the problem, it's me. I'm the one that's on the least, so you guys are generally either waiting for me or not waiting for me and leveling up. Outside that, don't really have many problems with the game.
No.
Really
It's a
like
class
it.
game, to be fair.
I will explain one thing that Spencer
Yeah.
you're probably already aware of. I've gone on since the Buggies update because I wanted to get some of the Killzone 2 content. Now we will be talking about this on the next episode of the podcast, I'm sure. But so I won't go into it too much here. But in terms of the Buggies, just so you know, they did something I never thought they'd do, which is an improvement from the first game. So Helldivers, and people forget this, right? People who are newbies to Helldivers don't realise the game... No, not you guys. People who say like, oh, it should be a fantasy about killing bugs. It's too hard. Oh, why my weapon not as good as it used to be? You should get fucking mauled, right? The only way it should work is that if you work as a team. That's how Helldivers should work. People forget this. In Helldivers 1, you got into a buggy.
Yeah.
R2 was go. L2 was brake and reverse. Bob's your uncle, right? It just drove. Now they got gears. So if you're in the driver's seat...
Oh, no!
That's difficult as hell.
Yeah, it's true. So I dropped in.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so I dropped in and I came with my Hellgast armor on. I was like, right, I'm going to run a mission with my ST-83 or whatever it is, the Hellgast gun. I was going to see what this thing does compared to my normal gun. And dropped in, spawned in the... and I thought, I'll face the Illuminate, right? I'll see what they're all about. Because it's been a while since, obviously, Helldivers 1. I was like, I'll put a buggy in, put it on level 6. I should be able to do that on my own, shouldn't be a problem. Put the buggy in, got in, and Helldivers 1, that the difficulty was you didn't know what seat you were getting into, which was kind of the hard thing. Like, if you got in on the left, you knew you were getting driver's seat, but anywhere else was a fucking gamble, right? And you press X until you switch around the positions.
Right.
In this, I got in. I don't know if it's just because I'm the only person in there, but it automatically put me in the driving seat. Comes with a bar at the bottom with D, N, R, 1, 2, 3.
That's so funny.
And so you switch with them with R1. And so I was like, I was like, okay, right, fuck this gears, okay. Put it into...
You drive an automatic as well.
I do.
What are these?
Put it into D, immediately crashed into a rock, and I was like, fuck, and there was like luminous shit flying over. I was like, fuck, they're gonna see me. And I was like, how do I switch? And it was just that moment where I thought, this is fucking Helldivers. They nailed it.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Americans were so confused because there were no Americans drive manual cars.
I'm so glad they've kept that essence.
That's so
what
funny.
you know as Helldivers, an original fan,
Yeah.
as a $3 bill Yol fan, all the way through to this new album. That's so sick they've included that. And I love that they're still fucking you.
It's
even
great.
now.
It's fucking great. It just means there's just whoever's the driver is going to fuck up.
Yeah.
And that's what Helldivers is all about. It's all about those moments of somebody will have your spear backpack and you'll be like, I need a reload. And they'll be like, I'm fighting bugs over here. And you're like, why the fuck do you fucking leave me? I need a fucking reload. Take this thing out that you're fighting with a fucking gun that can't kill it. I need you back here. And they're like, oh, sorry, oh. And then they die and you think, fuck me. Why didn't I have the backpack on myself?
Fucking like, I'll chuck an eagle on you. Lands on your head.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at you, Lewis. I'm looking at you again.
Have you tried the new emplacement in the patch?
No, I bought it, but I was just too focused on getting my buggy game up.
It's broken.
What? Absolutely bust ass.
It one-shots the Illuminate massive fucking things that come out. It's insane.
Good.
Most things that are new, generally insane when they come into games. Have you played Jinx or Victor?
Yeah, I played Jinx.
Insane.
Victor's very good.
Anyway, less of the league talk.
Yeah. Save that for after.
So, I want to hear your thoughts, Spence, on Helldivers 2. I haven't really heard these, and hear your newest experience you've had in the game.
Well, it does feature on my list.
Hey.
Oh my god!
But I'll say, I played it again the other day with my friends Kyle and Jack, and Jack's a bit. He puts himself as the team leader, which I don't like. So he backseat games you a lot. Like, it was just bugs away. He goes dive. I was like, I'm fine. What the fuck do you mean? I'm fine. And then I dove. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I've got fucking 200 hours in this. And the first, it pissed me off. But that aside, the actual patch itself, the buggy's fucking sick. I didn't drive it, so I didn't know about the gears. But the buggies are fundamentally just different. Because in the first game, the people in the windows on the side, you had a gun either side, and it could go this far or this far. Now you just get out the window, and you can shoot with your gun.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and then on the back there's a turret on the roof, which I think was in the Helldivers one. Yeah, it's a turret on the roof some of them use. But instead of those machine guns on the side, you just get out. Oh, but if the buggy flips and you're out, you can fall out.
Oh wow!
Oh my god!
It's fucking sick.
Okay.
The shit they do is sick, and the Illumina and the kind of environments the Illumina are in, it's like you're playing COD Zombies.
Yeah.
It's really strange, but it's fucking great.
Yeah.
They've just nailed it. Helldivers 2, man. Yeah.
I want to play it now. Can we just like sack off the podcast and go play some Helldivers?
I feel like
You don't
every
have to
game
go
we're going to
home.
talk about tonight, we'll be like, should we go and play Astro Bot? Should we go and play Helldivers?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can we go and play Concord?
Oh no.
Oh.
Rip.
Damn.
Kind of sad for it at number 4 now, but you know, I couldn't put it any higher, even though I absolutely adore it so much.
Mate,
it's such a good game.
The thing about it is that no matter its placement, as you said, it got into the top 5 games of the year. It's a big deal, and it's going to come up on all of our lists later. So we'll see how far they come.
Yeah.
Over to yourself, Mr. Hoy.
Over to myself, and I've strategically brought out my phone because I had a Metacritic score, which I thought was interesting. So my number 4 on my list, I'm moving up from Concord, was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. And that came out as an 86 on Metacritic. And that really summed up the year,
It's really good.
An 8 out of 10. Came out of the 18th of January from
Excited, I thought,
Ubisoft, which generally I'm not a big Ubi fan, so it was quite a surprise. A little bit of a risk, I suppose, diving back into a series which I'd left quite a long time ago, I would have said. I hadn't played a Prince of Persia game in a long, long time, but going back to the early days, it was one of the first games, I would have said, outside the stuff on the BBC computer, which I played, such games as Chucky Egg, was actually Prince of Persia. I remember going back, and my dad went to PC World back in the day, spent an absorbent amount of money on a compact Presario, and the demo that came with the compact was the original Prince of Persia. And played a lot of that back in the day. And now, full circle, we've come back round to the new Prince of Persia, which is a Metroidvania, which is great, okay. Slight change of pace compared to the games that we had on the N64 and the old PlayStations. But this game really, really surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it actually was. When I got into it, I thought, I kind of get this. And then you get a little bit further into the combat, it unlocks a little bit more, such as every Metroidvania. But the stuff that it unlocks is genuinely interesting. And the combat is really, really cool. It's on the same level, I would have said. Maybe slightly more with Fist. Slightly dumbed down version of Fist. Fist was slightly more complex in its maneuvers and parries and stuff. But Prince of Persia very much continues with that vein, but has that accessibility option, which I really appreciate within games now. Such as when we were talking about Astro Bot, I was talking about how that changed gaming. I think with Prince of Persia, that very much had the same sort of effect with the accessibility side of things. Because if, for example, you couldn't complete a jump, they would allow you to place portals to be able to skip out certain areas of the game and sort of dumb down the bosses as well. So if you got to a boss and you're playing it through on hard, you could put him down to easy just to get past him and then move the story on, which I actually didn't do. And some of the bosses were incredible. There were some epic Dragon Ball Z moments in this. And this is why I'm so surprised you've never stuck with it.
Yeah, do you know what? It's one of those things that gnaws at me. And I think the reason why is solely down to the PlayStation Portal.
Yes.
If I'm honest with you. I think if it was on cloud streaming, if I could access it on cloud streaming, like the cloud streaming service you get on Premium, I'd probably have done it. Because it's not on there, and I have to use remote play for it, it's too high level.
It's too intense, isn't it?
It's too intense, yeah. Like, I miss my parry timing, I miss everything I need, and
it's the jumps, I think, rather than the parries within the game.
For me, every time I get hit, I feel like I've lost. Right? Like,
you've got to do it perfect.
I love the parries, and when I feel like it's not like I definitely hit that parry, and the game says I didn't, it frustrates me enough that I got to quit out. And so the portal does not work for it, and that is the only reason why I haven't gone back to it. I think that's the only reason, because I played about 6 hours, I think, on the portal, and I was like, fucking hell, this is hard. Like, this is really hard. And then, I don't mean this in any offense, if Phil can get through it, I should be able to get through this, right? That's my mindset.
I quite like that.
That was my
I quite
mindset.
like that because I did get through the game.
You did,
Yeah.
And so that was my mindset. And I was like, this shouldn't be that bad. And then I got home, put it on the PS5 native, and I was like, fuck me, it's like a totally different game. Like this is completely different, and it felt so much better. And then it was just a case of when am I home? And then when I am home, oh, David, do you fancy some Dead by Daylight? Oh, do you fancy some fucking COD? Do you fancy some Street Fighter?
Is this me asking you or what?
Just in general.
So Spencer's the problem this time.
In general. We're talking from the
Is that
start
how I
of the year.
sound?
No.
You did your voice, didn't
That's what my
he?
message is saying. And so it's like, well, yeah, you know, I want to get my rank. I want to play some Ryu, right? I want to be like Willard or whatever. And so...
The IP really wasn't strong enough to tie you in then?
No, I mean,
It's your
like,
fault,
for
Spence.
me, the last time I had a inkling with this IP was PS2. So
Yeah,
Sands
long
of
time ago.
Yeah,
Sands of
Warrior
Time- Sands of
Within.
Time was great.
game.
So those games definitely like were great, but it's not the kind of IP that I'm like, I have to drop this. I was really interested in when we saw everything, and I think that it's one of those that I look on my dashboard and I see it there and I think, am I in the mood for this? Because it's long. It's a long game.
Yeah, it's a long game.
And am I in the mood for it? And at the moment, the answer is no. But the moment I am in that mood, I'm going to smash the fuck out of
There's
it.
DLC now as well, and I've heard that's
I
also
heard that
pretty
cooks. Yeah,
incredible.
I heard it
So
cooks.
I haven't played the DLC yet, so I'm waiting to do that.
From what I played, I really enjoyed it, and it's
Yeah.
starting to open up. And I'm at the point where I haven't lost anything. Like, in terms of, I haven't got enough abilities that I don't remember what I've done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I could pick it up, and I will pick it up.
You should do, mate.
Problem is, there's too many things.
It's almost been a year.
Yes.
Came out in January.
Yeah, I
It was the first game that I picked up this year to actually put a fair amount of time into, and I just got hooked.
Yeah, I think start of the year I was playing like games for review on YouTube and stuff like that, and then this point I bought it in, I think maybe
Yeah, you did buy it late
I
after
bought
the
it
hype.
very late. I bought it
After the
maybe
hype.
August.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'll get back to it
you should do.
next year.
Really, really good game.
But
It's a-
very glad to list.
It's a great game. I played a good couple of hours into it. Really enjoyed it, and it is not on my list. Unfortunately, but it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. I love a good Metroidvania. I want to go back to it again. I'm a bit like Davey. I started playing it and then I got distracted by other things. One of the games later on my list is what stopped me playing Prince of Persia, and I need to go back to it. But yeah, it's one of those games. It's on my backlog, and I do want to play more of it. I played about 8-9 hours of it. It was a lot of fun from what I played. Yeah, great game, really good game, and that's one of the regrets of this year that I haven't played more of it. To be honest.
Well, save your regrets because we'll get to those at the end. And here we are, my number 4, and this is one that's going to be a little bit controversial. I feel.
Okay.
Shadow of the Year Tree.
Oh shit! That is controversial.
That is controversial. Yeah, it's coming in my number 4.
Because it's DLC, controversial to be on the list, right?
No, it's because this list allows DLC. So we said from the off that we were going to allow Shadow of the Year Tree to be here. And the reason why it's my number 4
It's okay.
is
Okay.
the same reason why Elden Ring didn't win my Game of the Year on the year of its release.
Madness.
I have no interest in going back. I never will.
Respect.
And
Honestly, respect.
that is it. I think the game is absolutely fantastic. I think it's incredible, but it is just Elden Ring from 2 years ago. The bosses, and Mesmer in particular, was such a fucking highlight. And it's the
Mesmer.
first time that Karen saw what will happen every time there's a Dark Souls. In terms of, she was like, you coming to bed? And it's like, no, I need to beat this guy. I need to fucking beat this guy. And she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, Kat, I'll just break this down to you. I could go off and level up and come back, but he's doable here. So
that's
I'm
where
not.
you've hit him once, but you saw it how much he did, and you go,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can learn to watch this. And that's exactly what it is. If I did nothing, I'd be like, well, I gotta fucking go. Right, I gotta go. This is unwinnable. But because I fucking, especially with double hammers, my character in Elden Ring is fucking broken. And so the double hammers just obliterate health normally, and it did like a chunk. And I thought, 10 hits. and he's done. All I got to do is survive long enough to get 10 hits. So I got to learn to dodge, and it would just always be giant snake comes in, eradicates me in one hit. It's one hit kill for my character at that point, and I was like, you got to dodge that. If I can dodge that move and I can dodge the follow up attacks for the quick snakes, I can beat his ass. And the moment I did it, it's like, yes, is that eruption?
The mess
And
fight, yeah.
It's the only game this year that gave me that eruption. I got it off 2 times in that DLC. Most of the bosses I fucking clapped the cheeks out of. Like the first boss that a lot of people got stuck on is the one with the 2 blades. Renala, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I
now.
know. She fires 2 moons at you, didn't she?
Yeah, and she's got like a fire sword and like a
That
blue
piss me
one.
off, but yeah, I beat her eventually. Yeah.
So I walked in and I just bullied her. Like, it was 3 jumps and it was over, right? 3 jumps, she got staggered, hit her once, she got up, I jumped on her again, over. I didn't even fucking get hit, right? Like, no bother. I remember you struggling on that guy, that woman.
Shade!
I don't remember that.
I mean, I did. I struggled.
I get
I'm
to-
no shame in it.
I get to the end of the
struggling.
game and then you fight fucking Radahn again.
Oh my god, yeah.
And that was just a fucking learning experience.
Promised consort Radahn.
Oh my god. And that was a learning experience. And that took 2 days of constant boss fight, dying.
Cannot be arsed with that shit.
Until you just until I just got it.
Yeah.
And it was like, right, done. And then it was, let's help you through that. And it was just like, that experience was fantastic. I loved it. But unlike something like Bloodborne or Dark Souls or Dark Souls 3, lesser extent, Dark Souls 2, where like I want to go back, I want to experience those games, I have no interest in going back to Elden Ring. And that is the only reason why it's my number 4.
It does appear on my list.
Okay.
It does.
Oh, okay.
It's just fucking great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just fucking great.
It is.
It's just more Elden Ring. So you can't really go wrong with it. Elden Ring is a fucking masterpiece. It is.
Yeah.
I do completely understand what you mean. You don't want to go back. I would be quite happy to go back, I think. I would quite like to. But it's the same way I am with Dark Souls, where it's you take maybe like 2 years between a Dark Souls, you think I could go back to that. It's never like you don't go back right away.
No.
And you don't get the urge right away. But then randomly one night you'd be like, I'd love to play some Dark Souls tonight. Yeah. I'd love to go back to Elden Ring, beat Margit again, beat fucking anyone else, Melina.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, I'd love to do that fight again.
I don't want to beat her again.
I'd love to beat her again.
Solid.
Love it, yes, so good. It's difficult, but it's great. I'd love to go back to Elden Ring, to be fair, and I'd love to do it all again, even with the DLC. I think it's brilliant, and DLC just kind of amplified everything that Elden Ring was.
Yeah.
It just made something that was already a masterpiece somehow better, and it's a fucking like 30 to 40 hour DLC. It's basically Elden Ring 2.
Exactly.
Basically Elden Ring 2. Just, not really any improvements. Just the same game, a bit more. With interesting bosses. Great. Fucking adored it. Great.
I mean, it's also on my list, and I fucking loved it. It's such a fucking good game. This is my Souls game. Like, people will have like their Souls game they love and go back to. Elden Ring is my Souls game. This is the one that got me into the series. I know it's not yours, a lot of people's, but it was the one that got me into the series, got me hooked, and makes me. I absolutely adore it. I have so many fond memories of the base game, and then, like you, I didn't go back to the base game. But then when Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, I was like, oh yeah, this. I remember this now. This game's fucking class. It's like this is the greatest open world game ever made, as far as I'm concerned.
Whoa.
It
Oh
is.
shit. That's some fucking shoes to fill.
It is.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bet the GTA.
Yes.
Oh, fuck it.
I mean,
I'm
it's a bit
insane.
different. It's a bit different. but Yes.
No,
For me,
But-
yeah.
no fucking way. No way.
There's no hand holding.
Better than wow.
That's a shout as well, actually.
Yeah.
That's
like-
heavier than GTA for
That's
me.
an MMO.
That's the
right?
most open of worlds.
He's not wrong. Yeah, he's not wrong. He's cooking.
Couldn't be more open.
I'm technically right, and that's the best way to be right, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Technically
yeah.
right.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
That's class.
It's just the world of Elden Ring. It's just so fantastic. And it's just, there's no hand holding. It's just like, ooh, there's a building over there. I want to go over there. And it's like, this map is so big, they can't get any bigger. And then you go in another area, it's like, oh yeah, we've got a whole massive another map.
Yeah.
And like, even Shadow of the Erdtree did that. Like, it was just, like, you'd think, oh, it's an expansion. It's going to be like, what, 10, 20 hours? Like, it's going to be basic. It's not going to be much. And it just keeps going and going and going. And it's like, you climb a mountain and there's a fucking dragon on the top. And you go down into the crypt, into the underground. And it's just more and more build. It's just, it's not as big as the base game. And I think the base game is better. But I still adore this DLC so much. And it's probably the greatest DLC I've ever played as well. It's my favourite DLC ever.
And greatest DLC, greatest open world game.
Yes.
Big things.
It's in my top 10 games of all time.
Big claims.
Before
Top 10 games of all time.
Before I hand it over to you, Phil, I will just clarify, this game is a 10 out of 10. This DLC is a 10 out of 10.
It's 10 out of 10.
However, it's just the case that I do not think Elden Ring's as good as the other Souls games. And I still stand by that. I don't think it's as good as Bloodborne.
I've got something to say to that after Phil.
As good as a DS1, DS3. I don't think it's good, and I think it's just because of the way it's designed doesn't make it as appealing to run through.
I think you guys you prefer linear type games.
I do, yeah.
And I love just open world, go wherever the fuck you want kind of games. Like we were arguing about this earlier. Breath of the Wild is still one of my favorite games of all time, and you two hate that game.
I don't hate it. Don't hate it.
No,
I don't think it's mid. I think it's overrated. Is what
it's massively overrated.
I don't think it's mid. I think it's like a 9 out of 10. I think it's a fucking fantastic game.
I think it's a bit mid.
Overrated.
I think it's a bit
like
mid.
7.
Compared to what people fucking say it is, yeah, I think it's quite mid. It's overrated. It's overrated, but at the same time, like almost every other Zelda game's better. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Yeah,
I agree. But carry on, Phil. You've been very patient.
Thank you. Well, I was just going to say, I'm so glad that I bought you the Christmas present I did, Spence, because you've got a very high opinion of Elden Ring, and I just happened to Google Elden Ring, and this weird pot with arms and legs turned up. Ooh. And I have no clue what it is or
stop molesting your pot.
What it's to do with. Outside, it's from Elden Ring, so enjoy that pot. But hell, it's not on my list because I didn't play this amazing game. No. I don't like Souls games at all. Really dislike Souls games. I played Demons is Souls the other day. Didn't like it. Just don't enjoy
beautiful
it.
Though.
Beautiful game, and that's the reason I played it. Just so I could play a game on my PS5 Pro.
I need to come over and see that, to be fair. I bet that's great.
It basically just reconfirmed how much I dislike this style of gaming. I like lots of different styles of gaming, but Souls games I dislike. And this specific area of Souls games, which is where Souls games from. Everything that's come alongside it, which may or may not feature later in my list, I much appreciate. But the pure Souls game, dislike. It's a thumbs down for me. It's a miss for me. Do not like this style of game, but I appreciate you guys liking it.
I do feel like it's it's an acquired taste in a way, and that's why I'm so surprised.
I don't think it's acquired. I don't think it's acquired.
I
think I'm the edge case here.
No.
I think there's a lot of people who don't like Souls games, and then there's a lot of people
I'm a quarter
who prefer more linear Souls games like you guys. Like I think it's.
No, I mean Souls games in general.
I think what it is, it's the opposite case of the vocal majority, right? Like you think about when we hear about like going back to what we said earlier about Concord, right? It was everywhere. Everyone hated it, right? And we were the vocal minority in terms of being like, no, sorry, we were the minority in every single facet. But normally we'll be like a small voice. Like for a better example. Last of Us 2. People hate Abby, and when you go online, it's everywhere, and people say Last of Us 2 shit, it's terrible, blah 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 blah. But the actual majority of people enjoy the game, and it won load of awards, and it became one of the most successful games PlayStation have done. Did really, really well, right? So it's the vocal minority we're speaking.
I don't think so.
Souls works in the opposite way, in that you think everyone loves Souls because it's such a large voice, and we like it.
Everyone seems to love it online.
It's a vocal minority, I'm sure. I'm sure it is, because it doesn't sell that well. Like Elden Ring's the best-selling game. It sold like 12 million. Like, it did really well, but this is a series of, like, 7 entries.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not nuts numbers for being a multi-plat game. It's not It's not insane. It's not like you're talking like, it's doing like Witcher 3 numbers or anything. It's doing nowhere near. So it's still
small game,
smaller,
but dedicated.
Very dedicated.
Massively, yeah. There are people who exclusively play Souls games.
Yes.
And that is their life. I think 2 things I want to say. For one, I've just noticed. Do you think, as for you listeners as well, if you've played Elden Ring, is that crack on his back from where you help him out the ground? And you smack him in the back?
Probably.
Yeah,
You'll have to show the listeners, or you have to show the viewers.
Viewers, there's a little crack on his back, viewers.
Ooh.
And you meet him by smacking him out of the ground. You have to twat him in the arse.
I'm pretty happy with that.
And he's got a
Yeah.
crack there, so I reckon that's a little nod. I've not looked at his arse in game,
Ooh.
but that crack's probably there, and I think that's
Sexy
fun.
pots.
But what I actually meant to say, I think the reason you don't want to replay Elden Ring is because we're living in it. All the other Souls games, like when Dark Souls 3 came out, did you replay it right away, or did you wait a few years?
No, I went back. I went back for a second play. I went through 3 consecutive playthroughs. Yeah. First being a strength build, second being a magic build, which I'd never done
Pussied
before.
out.
No, I thought I want to see what it's like. Right?
I didn't even play the game. I just know it's the pussy build.
I was like, I want to see what this is, right? And so I went for a magic build, and then third I went for a dex build, which I'd never done before.
How was the magic build?
Boring, really boring, really boring. But and then I did a 4th run. Then years later, which I did with Willard, and went back to a strength.
Yeah.
But no, so that one, Bloodborne, I did 4 consecutive playthroughs through. Dark Souls 1 to get the platinum, I did 2 consecutive, and I'd already played it once years before. So I think it's just I think the difference is you're talking like a 40-hour experience when you know what you're doing compared to a 120+ hour experience for Elden Ring.
I was going to say, is Elden Ring just too big?
I think so, yeah.
I think
might be what
it might also be a case that the platinum was achievable then and there. Do you know what I mean? As in, you'd already got the platinum done and dusted.
Yeah,
whereas all the other Souls games, it takes multiple revisits.
Yeah, true. Well, Elden Ring took 2.
Yeah, but the second one doesn't count.
No, and it was you run through,
you fly through it, mate.
work everything.
It's like a fucking half-hour fucking run.
Yeah, it
the
is.
second one.
Yeah.
And the first one's 50 hours. Yeah, it's nothing.
With Shadow of the Erdtree, I didn't realise that I did New Game Plus. So I was in New Game Plus with my character with like the highest stats build, but I got to Moog like that you needed to get to Shadow of the Erdtree.
Oh yeah.
And that literally took me like 2 hours, 3 hours to get to Moog because I just go like killing everything in one hit the whole way there. So I get that, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that game. It's so good.
It's really good.
Great game, and I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry to put number 4, but I hope you'll accept my rationale in putting it here, and we'll see what comes up later in the list. But let's move on to number 3's yourself, Spencer.
I do accept your rationale, but I don't think a game needs to be playable to be good.
I think it's replayable. I also wanted to mention,
how many times have we played Half-Life?
there was one thing I wanted.
How many times have we played Resident Evil?
There's one more thing I wanted to mention as well. Next year, Elden Ring Night Rain comes out. Are we playing it again?
God,
yeah. 100%.
I might have to join you for that because I feel like it's going to be more like a game that I like.
It's like
It will
Monster
be,
Hunter.
Yeah.
It looks like Monster Hunter Dark Souls, which I'm totally fucking down for. And
So I'm
Elden Ring-
going to be in that. I'll be in that.
Elden Ring will be in my top 5 for a third.
I ain't going to.
Yeah, it will be. It will.
Ain't going no pussy build.
Yeah.
Bro, they're playing it smart as well. They're doing a patch a year. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Fucking yes. Sorry, anyway, back to Spencer number 3.
I reckon it wins next year as well, give me it.
Probably.
My number 3.
GTA year. No.
Oh yeah, so fucking true. So fucking true. I just forgot about GTA.
I think it's going to get delayed during GTA,
Madness.
but there you go.
Yeah, GTA wins.
What are you?
GTA wins.
What are you drinking, mate?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about GTA. GTA's gonna win.
GTA,
GTA's gonna win.
GTA.
I forgot.
If it comes out next year.
It will.
Exactly. What if it's shit?
That's the wildest take in the world.
Normally,
It won't be,
Lewis
it
is the
won't
most
be.
controversial, but now you're saying GTA is
Like,
going to be shit.
It's
No,
like,
it's a what if it is.
Oh.
It's like you know when Lewis is like shitting on Naughty Dog, right?
I said,
And
what
you think-
if?
Yeah, I know, but there's like with Naughty Dog, you could at least maybe ask that question. It's not unrealistic.
Yeah, Rockstar.
Rockstar don't
Yeah,
miss,
they're the
bro.
goats,
They
innit?
never miss.
Yeah, never. not even close as well.
PS1, bro.
They do this.
It's not even like they're just good games, they're fucking masterpieces
Yeah,
after
they're like the best games of that gen.
And they've had unlimited budget, unlimited time, unlimited support.
And each one breaks the record for the biggest entertainment launch of all time.
Yeah,
like
They made more money on their YouTube launch of
I
their
agree with you,
trailer
boys.
than like some of the games that came out this year, which are in our lists.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
R.I.P. Concord.
I agree.
R.I.P. Concord.
I agree.
insane.
It was just a little bit.
A what if?
Yeah,
I mean,
what if?
It could suck.
What
You
if?
never know.
It won't. But yeah, it could. I'd be immense if it did.
I mean,
quite like
everyone
to
thought
see
Cyberpunk was going to be amazing, and then it was a fucking train wreck when it came out.
I fucking didn't. Thank you.
So, you know.
I shat on Cyberpunk first opportunity I had. So I bet it's shit. Fucking was. I was gassed as well, do you remember?
Yeah.
Popping off.
Yeah.
My
Things suffer.
number 3, and you guys might be surprised by it, it's fucking Helldivers.
Good game.
Helldivers 2. We've already talked about it. It's my number 3. I do adore it.
Yeah.
But like you guys have said, I would never play it on my own. Never would. And I'll tell you what, sometimes I'm not fussed. Weirdly enough, I don't know what it is. I never had it with Helldivers 1. But when I booted up that the new patch the other day with my mates, I played one round and I thought, that's it now. I'm happy to come off.
It could just be the company.
It could be the
It
company.
could be the company.
But
You-
I've had
you
it
need
when
it. You
I've
need
had
it.
it when we're playing, all of us, and I think I'd rather be playing DBD.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
sometimes.
Wow.
I adore Helldivers, I do, but only in like short bursts. I think it's not.
Fair enough.
that
Well,
much.
I'm glad you didn't say, I might just leave.
Oh,
Because then that would have been the
Well-
company's fault rather than the game.
did it? Yeah,
Although, if you did, and you said DVD,
yeah.
we would have all just gone DVD, so it would have been fine.
It's not.
Speak your truth, bro.
I want to enjoy Helldivers. I do enjoy Helldivers, but it's I don't know. It doesn't pull me in as much as Helldivers 1 did,
Yeah,
and
really.
as much as other live service games do.
It's
It's extremely well made. It's beautiful. Plays perfectly. It's everything I wanted Helldivers 2 to be and more. But for some reason, doesn't land the way I expected it to.
Do you think, and I don't want to go too much off on Helldivers when we've already spoken about it so much, but do you feel that the switch to third person took away a little bit of the tactical edge that the top down level did?
It definitely does because you can't see behind you. That's the whole thing. You could always see your rear in Helldivers, and now you can't. So, granted, it's rarely a time I think you get flanked in Helldivers 2.
Yeah, very rare.
It is very rare, but it's I don't know.
There is more. The difference I always feel is that you're more conscious of numbers in Helldivers 2 and how big a swarm is and what kind of level of fucked you are compared to Helldivers 1, which is a case of how do we cover
You're always fucked.
this circle?
Yes, fucking.
Yeah,
stop
this
that.
circle's terrible. How do we cover this? And it's like, okay, turret here, fucking Tesla cannon here, Tesla tower. Let's just cover everything, and we just exist here, covering this. And that's what Helldivers 1 is, whereas this is like, oh fuck, you've awakened the nest. There's everything here.
Yeah.
How do we fucking deal with this as a group? And that,
Battle Titans coming.
yeah, we got Bile Titans, we got fucking those chargers, we got everything on our
Those
fucking...
stupid little tentacle
Oh, I hate
fuckheads.
them.
yeah. We got so it's like a different thing, but I can't. The way I kind of feel of it is that you're kind of trading out that moment to moment gameplay, which you get in Helldivers 2 all the time, for that moment of serenity that you earn in Helldivers 1.
You earn it in Helldivers 1.
Yeah. So Helldivers 1, you set up you set up your surroundings. And you think, this is nice. Like
Yeah.
we've done this. Like we've played this so well that we got nothing to worry about for 2 minutes while this countdown goes down because we've covered everything. Whereas Helldivers 2, you're never quite sure of that because you can't see everywhere.
Definitely
Does that
not.
make sense?
It does. I also feel like in Helldivers 2, you're more likely to get a fucking friendly eagle strike on your head.
Yes.
you are in
Yeah,
Helldivers 1.
since playing with a certain teammate, they call them, don't they?
Yeah, I don't.
Statistically, Phil always kills more of his team than I do. When we look at the stats at the end of the game, just gonna put that out there.
I'll tell you right now,
Wild.
the stats at the end of the game aren't accurate. They never are.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah, there's no
I'm
way.
just being factual.
There have been games where Davey's dropped a fucking nuke on my head, and then it comes up saying no friendly fire damage, and I think, excuse fucking me.
Wasn't me, it's the bugs, bro.
Arrowhead don't miss.
They fucking,
Until they do, and they miss a lot.
yeah, they miss.
All the time, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
But no, I think unless anyone's got any final thoughts on Helldivers 2, I totally get what you're saying. It's a game that I wouldn't want to play on my own either, ideally, and I get your rationale.
Yeah.
I think Helldivers 1 definitely had more of an appeal to us in that kind of like moment to moment gameplay, because it's you feel a lot, or I feel a lot more accountable for our success as a team.
Yeah.
In Helldivers 1. Whereas Helldivers 2, there's so much chaotic, crazy shit going
excuse me.
on. that
Helldivers
can't
2,
quite
you could play the
control.
best you've ever played and still fucking die.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes there's actually just nothing you can do. Whereas Helldivers 1, I feel like there is always a way out if you play as you should. Helldivers 2, you might just get fucked.
Do you feel with Helldivers 2 that it would be improved if you had a rear view mirror?
No.
No. It'd make
No.
it worse.
No.
It would make it worse, I think. It depends.
You see behind you, and that was one of your main criticisms.
I know,
there.
but then I also said you don't really get flanked in Helldivers 2, so it's not actually that important a matter. It's
the game
it's
design.
just the overall design of the actual game itself. Like it's really hard to put the words, but
So it's a bit like GTA with your VR headset on. You look to the left, you look to the right, or look to the right, then look to the left,
yeah.
depending on the way you look at it. And you can see the bugs. Wouldn't that help you out a little bit? No.
Oh, max FOV, but
You're just happy with the way it's set up, but
I like the way it is.
Yeah.
It just I really can't put to words what it is that puts me off of it.
But
it's not. I feel like everyone's enjoyed Helldivers 2 this year more than me.
I think it's probably just that. It is just coming from
obviously not. His was lower.
Yeah, well,
coming from
Factual.
coming from Helldivers 1, it's a different game.
very different.
It's a different game. It's a different game, and I think there's strengths in Helldivers 1 that Helldivers 2 doesn't reach. And I think the moment to moment in Helldivers 1 is actually pretty boring. When you're walking across landscapes and you're going towards objectives and you're looking for sentries. Helldivers 1 effectively is all about taking out sentries before they spot you. That's what Helldivers 1 is. And when they do spot you, it goes chaotic and you just run out of there. You could just run out. And it's fine. It's not a big of a deal.
But it had to be different.
It did.
I don't think if Helldivers 2 was just Helldivers 1.5,
It wouldn't have been a success.
No,
yeah.
no. Well, it wouldn't have done what it done, because Helldivers 2 brings that moment to moment so much better.
Yeah.
Like
I
that
agree.
moment's like I remember so vividly. I really don't want to go off too much on Helldivers, so I'm sure it's going to appear on all our lists in a moment. But there's just those epic moments where I remember this so well. There was a mission we play. I don't know who it was. It might be you, me, and Brandon, maybe Spence.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. And you guys were at the extraction. You were holding off a massive horde, and you were like, "There's a fuck ton of samples ages away." And I was like, "I'm gonna fucking get them." And we had no lives left. I was like, "I'm gonna fucking get them. I'm gonna fucking stealth it the entire way." And I crawled the entire map, right, and just fucking stealthed it. And everyone was dead, and it was just me left with the timer ticking down, just stealthing my way through all these patrols, got the samples, came back and fucking respawned you in. Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" It was like so sick. And like those moments don't happen on Helldivers 1, right?
No.
Like those moments cannot happen.
Yeah.
Helldivers 1 is a case of if everything's set up, you're doing nothing. And it's fucking lovely.
Yes,
right?
right, yeah. it's
And
nice.
when it doesn't, and it goes bad, and you don't have it, it's just chaos, absolute chaos. And I think that's the sweet spot that Helldivers 2 never quite gets, because even when you have everything set up, there's an unknown, right? And I think to me that's the strength of the game. But I can understand understand the negative side of that.
Yeah, it can be I think the big thing is in Helldivers 1, if something comes in that will create a horde unless you kill it right away, you can kill it immediately and it's easy. In Helldivers 2, it's fucking stress to kill that one fucking bug that's signaling for the rest of the bugs. Because chances are you kill it, you killed it too late apparently, even though no smoke came out of it. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you were the head of Arrowhead, if you were in charge of the company, with Helldivers 3, would you go back to above view? Would you go back to third person, or would you do something new?
Never.
Third person again.
I wouldn't change a thing. The thing that Helldivers 2 needs, and what we'll see across this generation now, is the wealth of content that Helldivers 1 had over its landscape. And you got to think, like, by the time I introduced, or I think I introduced you to Helldivers, I'm not sure if I'm putting that on me.
You did.
But by the time I introduced Spence, the game had already been out for 6 years, right? So, like, the game came out...
three DLCs right away.
The game came out on PS3,
Yeah.
like, originally. And that's where I played it, and it was very bare bones, and it was class, right? It was great. Exactly the same as it is now. But you come into it later, and you've got everything there. And you've got buggies, you've got tanks, you've got everything.
And you've got patches to fix things.
Fucking loads of patches.
Yeah.
And so it's a very different experience than how it was even when I started it on PS3 and I played it on Vita and I played it all the way through and seeing it change and see it kind of perfect itself over that time. And I think that we'll probably look towards the end of PS5's life cycle and we'll look at the state of Helldivers and think, fuck me, like, what a great game this has been. You know? And it'd be one of those.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll still be playing it in 2030? In 6 years? Yeah, 6 years, yeah.
I think it'd be one of those ones that you'll probably think every now and again, like we do with Helldivers 1 now at this point, where it's like maybe once every 6 months. Oh, do you want to have a little blast? And then you boot it and you think, fuck, why do we ever leave? You know? And,
but then you don't go back.
But never go back.
You never go
Too
back.
many games, too little time.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Unfortunately.
That is life.
Time.
But speaking of time, let's move it on. Let's go across to yourself, Lewis. Let's go for your number 3.
My number 3 is my favourite PlayStation exclusive of all time. Astro Bot.
Hey! Anything more to say on this, boys, or are we good to move?
Fucking love it. Great game.
Yeah.
I think we've spoken quite a lot about Astro Bot. I haven't really got anything more to add
Loads.
until it comes out on my list.
Pulls all the facts out. Go on then, Phil. Give us your number 3.
Number 3. Okay. Let's see. Let's consult the notes. So number 3 on my list, I think it's a game that only I've played.
Ooh.
And we've spoken quite a lot about Souls games. And this is a Souls-like, I suppose.
Wonder what game he's on about.
Now, there's a very appealing character within this game, which isn't the most PC. So in a year of wokeness, because we've been introduced to woke culture, haven't we?
We have.
In 2024.
Wokies.
This game goes against every rule in the book. They literally have an upskirt within this game. It's ridiculous. There's a part in it in the newest release where if you look up Eve's skirt, she kicks you away.
Nice.
Yeah.
So look out for that when you get to play it, boys. I am, of course, talking about Stellar Blade. 81% on Metacritic. Came out on the 26th of April, 2024 from Shift.
I thought you were going to say upskirt.
From upskirt.
Upskirt games are classic.
From Shift Up Entertainment.
Nice.
Now, this game, I was a little worried about buying. For 2 reasons. Because when you walk into a store and you buy a game with a very scantily clad lady on the front and you take it over to your fiance at the time and you want to spend time with this girl more than you want to spend time with your fiance, it can cause arguments. It can cause a little bit of a rift.
I'd imagine, yeah.
What are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm just going to play a bit of Stellar Blade. Is that the one with that girl? With the boobs out and the short skirt? I'm playing it on burqa mode. And then she comes down and it's that OnlyFans moment where you're like, and you've got to change it as quickly as possible. It's a worrying moment because Eve, hell, sexy as hell. Like the bet. Like, can I give a side award?
Of course.
Sexiest woman in video gaming this year.
Ooh.
Oh.
Now I know you're going to say Tifa.
Okay.
No.
Tifa,
But I ain't about Final Fantasy.
What about that person you play on Concord? What's her name? I can't remember her name now.
Amari.
Amari, yeah.
Yeah,
but
she's sexy as
but
well.
that's like a niche taste, isn't it?
Itsy more than that, mate, I reckon.
Yeah.
Rocker.
Dawn, mate.
Get her
Dawn,
helmet
that
out.
crew.
Get her helmet off.
But I thought it was just a bloke for years. Well, it seems like years. Anyway, carry on.
Rocker's going to need that helmet when I put her through the wall. But yeah, Celebrate.
Sexist one when you
Two
think
reasons to be worried about it. One, obviously the sexual connotations of the character. The second reason to be slightly worried about this game is I don't get on with Souls games.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be another kind of game that I get, play a couple of levels, kind of get stuck, hit my head against the wall.
Put it on the shelf.
Just like Rocker. And of course, just put it on the shelf and kind of forget about it. But this game actually drew me in, and it wasn't just the appeal of Eve. It was a genuinely interesting game. It's a new take on Souls. And I like the way you're down to me, because there's a lot about the appeal of the game. It does look bloody beautiful. And there is an incredible update for PS5 Pro at the moment, which I cannot wait to play as soon as I get that fucking disc drive. And that's gonna be the bane of my life, of course it is. Yep. But Stellar Blade, it's a game you need to play.
To me, this is one of the games that will come up later. When we talk about our side things, and I can't wait, man. It's the game that the audience is shouting at me to play. Yeah. Lurian goes on to me, I swear it's daily, say, why haven't you played it? Forget Silent Hill 2, forget blah blah blah. You need to play Stellar Blade. And I know I do. I was the one that the first time I saw the gameplay, I remember being on the podcast, first person to be like, this is in my memory, like I put it straight up there, and just I haven't played it. I don't know why. I do know why, and that will come up why later as well. And it's just
I can probably answer that before you answer it.
Go for it. Yeah.
I think it's because it's more Devil May Cry than Souls.
Oh, not a chance.
Oh no, nothing to do with
I think it's
that.
because he didn't have enough time because he was busy playing something else.
Yes, I was too busy having my plate filled by a game that did not deserve my attention, and we will get there later. We will get there later. It is on my list. There's two games. Without, I'm not going to spend ages on this because we're going to talk about it later. But there's two games that I'm desperate to play this year, and this was one of them. And it's just a damn shame, and I can't wait. It'd be...
Story, visuals, action, gameplay, everything is at that 8 or 9 out of 10. I don't think it ever reaches the 10. I'll be honest.
For me, the demo that I played and fighting that boss and just getting that finesse.
You fight him again.
Couple of times.
I love that, and I played that demo so much and got that really finesse. I know that you took it even further than I did, Spence.
I watched it yesterday.
So why is it that, obviously I haven't played it because of time, but is there a reason why you haven't gone to this?
This has been, this kind of arcs back to what I said at the start of the show, where I think it's been a duff year. This has been my least video game heavy year since the origin of my creation, I think. I've not played games this year, and if I have, it's Street Fighter 6 or League of Legends. I've not been playing. My PS5 isn't getting touched at the minute, and it's just my own fault. I know the games are there to be played, but it's a duff year for me because I haven't played them. There are two games that I'll be talking about later, probably the same fucking ones, but this is one of those games, and I am fucking desperate to play it. So I love Souls. I love playing as a woman, and this woman is a special kind of woman.
And you like Devil May Cry, and it's
love
the combat is more Devil May Cry, I would say.
Yeah,
than Souls.
From
what I know about Souls, anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I adore Devil May Cry as well, and that demo, you said, fuck me, I pushed it to its limits.
Yeah,
I watched it yesterday. I got hit twice.
You hardcored it.
Yeah,
you played it like, I remember uninstalling it when I did it like and did it with like really clean, and put it on Twitter, and it was nice, and you were like. And I remember commenting like, "How many fucking hours have you put on this?" You're like, "Don't ask."
Yeah,
don't ask. Like you fucking bro, absolutely no life did.
Fucking loved it, but it just launched at a time where I was skint, and now other stuff has got in the way. But I do intend to play Stellar Blade at my earliest convenience.
The second time you play that boss, you can proper noob it. You can push it into the corner and it can't attack you. And I found this out completely by accident. Apparently loads of people have been doing it online. And I thought I just naturally got to that point. I've gravitated up through kind of like hard bosses to find a weird bug straight away where I just push it in the corner and he was trying to do the electricity. And I was just like, no, double trigger, boom! Incredible feeling.
A win's a win, bro.
When you find that little... within those games.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
That's how I beat Elden Ring.
Yeah.
The final boss of the game, I did it on accident. It's now a speedrunning trick that everyone does. That I did it on launch by mistake. If you immediately run to the right of the Elden Beast and start hitting its back, the AI breaks, and it can't attack you, and it just stays where it is.
Oh, shit.
My clip of me beating that boss is the boss just not moving.
Oh, that must be
And
so
I beat the
boring.
boss, and I was like, "That was fucking easy." And then I watched the speedrun after, and it's someone doing that exact thing, and I thought, "Oh, I fucking broke the AI."
Because
Oh,
forgive me if I'm wrong when it comes to Souls, like there's the right way to do the boss.
Well,
There's the wrong way to do the boss, and then there's kind of just everything else that may just bug the boss out because the programming probably isn't that great.
you can do it almost every boss as well.
yeah. There's always flaws, right?
there's
Because there's a certain design, a certain rotation that they put into the game, and as soon as you think about that rotation on a different level, you can find the weaknesses within that, right? And that's the beauty of Souls games, isn't it? And I don't really enjoy getting to that point, but having that character in that corner and just going, I'm going to beat this first time. What's going on? It's that excitement, isn't it? And you're like, I fucked the game.
You're like, I'm sick.
Big brain, big brain.
best.
And then you just walk up to a normal mob and they just fuck you. Because that happens a lot in Stellar Blade.
I haven't played it either, but it's because, you play as a woman, so why
Oh,
would I play that game?
exactly.
No, I've downloaded the trial. I want to play it. It's on my list. I really want to play it. It looks really fun. It reminds me a lot of Bayonetta, and I loved Bayonetta.
Yeah.
There's
I really
Bayonetta
want-
vibes.
I really want to play it. It is on my list of stuff to play. I've downloaded the trial. Basically, I'm going to play the trial for like the hour or 2 hours you get it on PlayStation, and if I run out of time, then I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I feel like? I feel like, Phil, and you might agree with me on this, that Stellar Blade is going to be one of those ones that, say I get to it early 2025, I don't think I will, but say I did, then it'll be one of those ones that, like we did the posthumous like Guardians of the Galaxy award where we played just after the Game of the Year.
Yes.
And we were like, that should have been our Game of the Year. Like, would have gone really high.
I think it's up there for you.
Yeah,
I think it's
I think it is.
specifically a you game.
Yeah.
And then in proxy, Spencer will love it as well.
Yeah. I think it will.
And that's not a diss, because you generally like the same games.
Yeah,
I think I'll like it
pretty
really.
Yeah, you probably
So
will.
I love Devil May Cry.
I think
DMC's so good.
we'll have to wait and see.
Sick.
But
Have to wait
I'm
and
looking
see.
forward to.
It's
to
weird
playing
that
it.
I like this game first.
Yeah.
And
You didn't want to board
that probably adds a little bit to it, actually. Yeah. And guess what game I got for Christmas, boys? Lies of P. So we'll see about that game next year.
Watch this game. Watch him get fucking.
Bro, I
him,
played the demo for Lies of P. It's
That's
gonna
hard.
beat your
That's
fucking
hard.
Oh,
arse.
That's
yeah,
hard.
it is. I played the demo as well. It's hard.
It's fucking solid. It's harder than like any Souls I think I've played. It's solid.
Do you know who bought it?
Who?
Laura's mum.
Oh,
There you go.
she hates you.
She
Probably
yeah,
hates
she
me.
hates
Probably hates me.
bro.
Gislin. Shout
Well-
out. Know you listen.
On
Big fan of
Lynn's,
Davey.
on Lynn's recommendation, let's move it on. So my number 3, guys, to round this out, it's a game we spoke about a lot today, and it is Astro Bot.
Number 3.
Astro Bot
Hey,
coming in my
match.
number 3.
High five.
Coming in number
Wow.
3.
Threes.
Coming in my number 3. So
game.
I don't think any more to say on this, unless anyone needs to say anything. But
Big game.
Cute mind, isn't he?
he's the best, man.
He's the best.
Best
I love
mascot.
him.
You're number
We should
2,
also say that that it would be cast as number 1, I imagine.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it-
100%.
Stop
if he
it
was on the
himself.
podcast, it would be number 1 on his list, I imagine.
It would.
Easy.
Hell yeah. Sorry.
That's all good, bro. My number 2, and I feel kind of bad having this as my number 2, but I think I can reason as to why it is. My number 2 is Silent Hill 2.
Oh, man, that high.
Remake.
That
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
Spooky.
And I've only played about 5 hours of it, which is why I didn't really want to put it here. But from what I've played of it, I know how the story's going. I beat the original just a few weeks ago. I know what's going to happen, and with the way the game works now, I know how it's going to happen. So it's not like I haven't played it. I'm going to play it all, and I can't
I
fucking
think
wait.
there is some changes in it.
There are
Not
changes.
that I've played the original in Yonks or the new one. I've heard there's
There's
some bits that are quite different in the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are loads of changes. There's a few like cute little Easter eggs, like you're you're with fucking Mary in the room, and she picks up like her old outfit. She's like, "Do you think this would look good on me, James?"
Oh, that's cool.
And you're just like,
Is it pixelated?
It's
incredible.
It's just really low res. You know?
That'd be class.
It's just a big square.
Just a colour.
it's just like a cute little Easter egg, just like a little moment, and it's fucking in like a random fucking room that you don't even need to explore.
Yeah.
It's cute, and the fucking all the environments and like the sub areas. So obviously it's an open world kind of game, sure, but it's with linear things. So you get to the place, then that place is then super fucking linear. Those places, like the apartment, the fucking school, hospital, all that, super fucking fleshed out. Massively fleshed out. Something that took me 45 minutes in the original took me 4 fucking hours in the remake.
Wow.
Fucking amazing. And the way it controls, it's way fucking harder than the original. I say that. I have 13 health drinks and 3 full fucking stims.
You're fine, man.
I'm fine, and I've got 40 handgun rounds.
That's one of the flaws of Silent Hill.
Yeah, always has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlimited resource.
But to be fair, I've kind of nailed it when I've been playing. I've been playing really well.
Yeah.
So I think that is part of it. And I'm exploring fucking every crevice. But this game, it looks beautiful, plays amazing, puzzles are fucking great. It's really, really fucking good, and it's just more survival horror. And I'm just getting into Silent Hill, so I'm a bit fucking, you know.
You're a bit hard at it.
Yeah, a bit hard at the minute.
I think great, man. I mean, like, this is another game that will come up in my list of gaming neglects from this year. It's the game that you would have thought I would have been on the immediate time, and I already said before, just I'm kind of burnt out on the genre, and it's just that's the way it is. I've got it. I own the game. I got it upstairs, and it will get played as soon as I finish the 3 games I'm currently working through at the moment, which is Soul Reaver 1 and 2, and because fuck me, I started and they're fucking incredible, as I always knew they were, and Behemoth. So as soon as I finish those, I'll be straight on Silent Hill 2. Can't wait.
So good.
Can't wait, man.
I don't even own it yet. And it is high on my list. It is the next game that I will buy. So for Christmas, I asked for it. Unfortunately, someone bought me Alan Wake 2. So I need to play that as well. My back catalogue is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. PlayStation need to slow down.
Yep.
They really do. Or I need one of those like time capsules where I can just like chill out and like everything just stops.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah.
I was thinking for 1 year, what I wanted to do, I remember saying this to my ex-wife before, that what I wanted for a weekend, she was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "I just want to be left the fuck alone." I was like,
I remember you saying this.
I just want one fucking, even just a day of just having no parental responsibility, nothing to do around the house, and just I can sit down and play from fucking 9 until fucking midnight, and just an entire day.
You said that first.
Yeah, well,
not just.
The jacket. Well,
it probably doesn't take too long, does it?
No, a jacket time is like scattered throughout the day, isn't it? You get to
scattered throughout the day. Are you several times, or are you edging yourself? What's going on?
Several times, bro. If you're on your own for like an entire day,
I'll take a break for this game, Silent Hill.
Yeah, how many is several?
You get a celebrate on.
You get to a tough part, you pause it, and you think.
You have like 7 busts. How many several?
Several is like more than 3, right? Like
3.
Yeah, 3 easy over like a fucking 14-hour period. What, you rookie numbers? These days I don't even do it. These days I don't have to. But back in the day, I was pumping numbers up. Right? I was pumping numbers up, and it was just what it was. But the point was having that time capsule, dude, and being able to like restrict yourself and be like, yes, I got no distractions. I got no real life shit. Yeah. That is the thing that becomes so fleeting when you get older, and it's something that I never understood. And you just kind of fall into it, don't you? It just kind of creeps up on you that these things happen. It's only going to get worse for you as well when you got kids in the mix.
And it's already bad for me.
it's going to be
and
worse.
You've been through everything that I'm now experiencing.
It gets so much worse, dude.
Yeah,
like
you've avoided it way better than I have. Because I'm only just married.
Dude, I got liver spots and shit, dude. I'm not having enough sleep, man. Like,
Yeah.
He sleeps 3 hours a night, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You've got to get more of your liver
I
spots
can't
up.
do that.
Get your liver spots up.
He liver spots up,
Well,
yeah.
you're
Good
rugby
gaming.
man.
Good gamers just have liver spots, right?
Yeah, exactly. Why have you said pussy about it? But let's move on. Lewis, you're number 2.
All right, my number 2 is a game that I'm pretty sure none of you have played.
Sure.
Is Balatro.
Number 2.
Is
Wow,
fucking
mega high.
class
What is his
game.
number 1?
Well,
Don't tell
Don't tell us. Don't tell us, but I'm so intrigued.
Yeah,
know?
Balatro is
Yeah, I
my
know
number,
what it is.
yeah, pretty obvious. But anyway, Balatro is my number 2. It's really hard to explain, but it's such a great fucking game. It is poker, but with jokers that modify it. It's a rogue poker game. It's addictive as fuck. It's like the most addictive game I've ever played, I think. I have it on my ROG Ally, which is Steam. I have it on my Xbox. I have it on my Switch. I also have it on my phone because I'm addicted. And
Wow.
I could literally just sit there and play it for like 4
is it
hours.
crossplay?
No.
So
Well,
you're literally playing an 8. How
20
long?
quid.
How long is the game to complete?
It could go for hours. It's like endless, basically.
It's a roguelike, so
It's a roguelike poker
you
game.
never really beat it.
Okay.
So
yeah,
what
but
you-
like to get all the trophies.
To get the platinum,
Yeah.
this is pretty much impossible. I was saying this to you guys the other day.
Oh,
You need to
okay.
get what they call gold tokens, which is like the hardest difficulty on every single joker. There's like 100 jokers in the game, so you need to play the hardest difficulty like 100 times, like plus. It's insane. So basically, the game works.
I'm alright.
You get like a load of cards, and then you got to do the small blind, which is like the easy level. Then a big blind, and then you have a boss blind. The boss blind does stuff like you can't use hearts, or you can't use face cards like kings, jacks, and queens and stuff like that. And so it's the boss essentially, and you just go through each phase over and over again, and you try and get the optimal score. You get jokers to modify your score to give you multipliers, to give you extra points and stuff like that. And then you get planet cards or celestial cards, which increase the level of a certain hand. So by flesh is now a level 2 flesh or a level 3 flesh. You get more points for doing fleshes than doing 2 pairs or whatever like that. And then you've got tarot cards, so you can destroy cards or make them like 4 times more powerful or stuff like that.
Jesus.
Or gold.
What does this mean?
It is, yeah, it's really hard to explain, is the problem. But it is so fucking addictive. It is so much fucking fun. And it's crack cocaine in game form. It is so good. And it's made by one person. And it was up for Game of the Year this year. And it's well deserved as far as I'm concerned. It is the most fun I've had playing a game this year, probably. Or the one I played the most for sure. I don't really know what else to say. It's class. I would recommend playing it. It's hard to explain what it is by just.
I think you did very well there, Lewis. But I've got a quick question. When did you get into Balatro? Was it a game that you picked up because it was nominated, or did you pick it up kind of before the hype?
I picked it up before the Game Awards.
Okay.
I heard good things about it on podcasts, basically.
Because the first time I heard about
Not
it,
this one.
not on this one. No, we've never
Not this
mentioned it.
podcast. Sorry, guys.
The first time I heard about Balatro, and I'm pretty connected to the video games world. I follow a lot of people on Twitter. Generally, that's where I get majority of my knowledge from, actually, and Wikipedia. That was the first time I'd ever heard of it. You know?
Game Awards, yeah?
Yeah, the Game Awards.
Yeah.
You know, it's only recently that word has actually come into my understanding and my life, right?
Yeah.
And my brother came down, and he's a big PC guy. And last time we were talking about the podcast, he said, "All you do is talk about me," and it's the first time I've mentioned him in a long, long time. So,
Yes.
Hello.
hey, Mike. He said that was his game of the year because I asked him, because I said, you know, we're going to be discussing game of the year. What was yours over on PC? And he said Balatro as well.
Yeah.
So, when did you start playing it?
A couple of months ago. I didn't play it straight away. I think I heard it on the Kind of Funny podcast. This is a really good game, and I was like, I'll try it. Why not? I like to try
What was that podcast?
Kind of Funny.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Terrible bit.
Yeah. Right.
Never heard of it.
American Muck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, you guys know Alice from Xbox Boxes. I
Yes,
think it's her
yes,
game
yeah.
of the year as well, because she's obsessed with it.
Okay.
Messaged me about it all the time, Balatro. But it's just, it's really hard to explain. But it's just
You've done
it's
well.
really
You've
fun.
done well.
It's just a poker game, but with modifiers and stuff like that. And it's just,
Can I just say, I think you've done
it's a chill game.
a fucking fantastic job in explaining Balatro. And the issue is, right, like, I say I'm not into card games, and I
Yeah.
say, like, they're a little bullshit.
Yeah, come
But
on.
every time there's a card game in a game,
Yeah.
I become obsessed. I played Gwent more than I played The Witcher.
Yes.
I played fucking Royal Blood more than I played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Royal Blood, is it? What's it
Yeah.
called?
Oh god, it's
Queen's.
Queen's Blood. Queen's Blood.
Blood.
That's close.
Yeah. So good, mine, Queen's Blood.
Queen's Blood, best thing
I
about that
love
game.
card games.
And so I
Hearthstone.
am scared.
I like Hearthstone. It's
I'm
good.
scared
Hearthstone.
to
I
play
always go back and play
Balatro.
Hearthstone.
Because if I did, dude,
I play Yu-Gi-Oh now.
I think it's game over for me.
It's such a simple game. It's like getting like a cool like a card mechanic like a Magic or a Hearthstone or Pokemon or whatever, and just applying it to poker.
Yeah.
Like real cards.
Great idea.
It's such a weird
Great
concept,
idea.
but it works so well.
From what I've seen,
Oh.
I've watched quite a bit of Balatro, but even after you explaining it, and I've watched maybe 2 hours of it, not a fucking clue. It's the kind of game that no matter how much someone tells you, until you've played it, you won't understand it. I feel.
Yeah, I mean, so at the moment I'm currently running, trying to get as many. So I got a specialist deck that only has hearts and spades. Yeah, so just two different colors, and then basically I'm just running flushes. So I just have every single hand I go flush, 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 flush. Try and get different multipliers and add them up like that. But there's different ways of playing it. You can go for like doing 2 pairs, or it's like different strategies, so different ways to do it, and like leveling up a card. It's addictive, and I love it. I'm addicted to it. It's such a good game.
I know it's come up super high in your list, but when it came up for the Game Awards, were you surprised that you were like, I love this game, and now it's come up for the Game Awards? Because as I said, I'd never heard of it, right? and I always find that really weird when a game is nominated so highly.
Yeah.
And I never heard of it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I'm the problem here, right? I've just never heard of this game.
I think-
Not even in passing.
I think
You know what I mean?
Balatro and
Yeah.
maybe Animal Well are probably like the two biggest like indie games this year, I would say.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. And this is like my new Vampire Survivors. Like I was obsessed with that game, and I still am. But it's just I think if I was stuck on a desert island, I'd want Vampire Survivors and Balatro, and I literally could just live off that for the rest of my life.
I'd kill myself.
Those games were. You don't like Vampire Survivors. I know.
I like it, but being stuck with it on a desert island, fuck that.
It's just a game. It's just a game I can endlessly play. Is what I'm saying.
I like it for
Balatro,
like
I can
half an
endlessly
hour.
Play it as well.
Yeah.
Kill myself.
I'll kill
I'd
myself.
Kill myself.
And what a point on that to move on to your number 2, Mr. Loy.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to have a lot to say, because I think my number 2, and I've said my point about Astro Bot. It's a beautiful game, and it's changed gaming going forward for PlayStation. Astro Bot is my number 2.
Fucking A.
Well done.
Thank you.
And I think following on from that, my number 2, I don't think there's anything more to say on this, is Helldivers 2.
Oh.
Coming in at number 2 on my list.
Wow.
And so we are at
Fucking swiftly moving to my number 1.
Wow.
swiftly moving to your number 1.
Jesus. Oh, hang on, let me double check. Oh, man.
Street Fighter 6.
Oh,
League of Legends.
it would be League if I could. At the minute, it would. My number 1 is a game we've already talked about, so there should be no surprise. Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Hey.
Wow, number
I
1.
really, when I wrote my top 5, I did not think this would be my number 1. But then, as I've looked through the games and put them in order, and I prefer that. I prefer that. It's just fucking ended there. I would never have predicted it as my number 1.
Wow.
But that's just the way it's gone. It's brilliant. It's just more fucking Elden Ring, which was. Well, it wasn't even my favorite. It wasn't even my fucking favorite game of the year when Elden Ring came out, because Ragnarok came out as well. But
8 out of 10 year, bro.
it just speaks out how good fucking Ragnarok was, doesn't it? Elden Ring's a masterpiece. Shadow of the Erd Tree is an extension of that. It's just fucking brilliant. We spoke about it enough.
Spoke about it enough.
Well done. Number 1.
Number 1.
We have spoken about it enough, but my number 1 is Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Oh my god. It might win.
Yay.
I should just try and quote exactly what Spencer said. It's fun. It's a great game. It's the best game. It's just an extension of Elden Ring. Elden Ring Night Rain will probably be my game of the year next year as well, because it's already been game of the year twice for me. So it's my 2022 and my 2024 game of the year. So, and when people are out going, "Oh, it shouldn't be up for game of the year," I'm like, "Fuck you guys! It should have been game of the year. It should have won game." As much as I love Astro Bot, This game is incredible. It's such a good
It was
game.
It was
so tribalistic.
And people are
aren't you?
so pissed off.
What, you know?
I'm just saying, the people in the Game Awards
Both
like
Sony
saying it
IP
shouldn't have been
now.
nominated
I
piss
know.
me off because it's such a good
PlayStation IP
fucking
number
game.
1 for Lewis.
Everyone
Terrible.
everyone was a bit up in arms about Shadow Year Tree being nominated, but out of the 5 games and 4 games and 1 DLC, the longest one there was fucking the DLC.
Exactly,
No,
and it was
not.
the best
Oh,
one.
it's Rebirth on there.
Rebirth.
Oh, well,
yeah.
that didn't deserve to fucking be there, so it doesn't
No.
matter.
Agreed.
So it was the fucking longest one there.
But yeah,
And,
great game.
Wouldn't not to totally shit on your point, but one Metaphor Refantasio there.
Oh,
That's way longer than 40 hours.
That's a great game.
Yeah, it is, but
Well, that didn't feature in the top 5.
That was my number 6.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Cut.
But yes,
Captain T.
Cut
So,
that.
Elden Ring, Shadow of the Year Tree, Game of the Year. Loved it. And me and Spencer have got the best taste here out of anyone.
Well
So,
done, guys.
Celeste,
So, Phil, spice us up. What's your number 1?
Elden? No. Definitely not Elden Ring.
3 times he played it.
Did not play Elden Ring. It's obviously Helldivers for me.
Good game.
There's not much more to say about it outside
What was its Metascore, Phil?
all the experiences we had individually this year were all of that 8 or 9 out of 10. And Helldivers is that, but I'm with you guys. So it boosts it to 11 out of 10. Shout out Joe Thomas.
Very well said.
Do you want the Metascore? Do you want the Metascore? I've got
Yeah,
the Metascore right
Yeah,
here.
come on.
I always like a Metascore.
Come on.
And talking about Metascore, maybe we'll talk about that later on the Fantasy Critic. Because
We'll talk about that next episode. Thank you. Not today.
Not today, okay. 82, which actually
Wow, lower than I thought.
is one of the lowest on my list. So Concord had 62, Prince of Persia 86, Stellar Blade 81, Astro Bot 94.
Wow.
There we go. Factually correct.
Well done.
Very good.
My number 1, guys, completely out of left field.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And
We know this.
it is Pacific Drive.
Hey.
It's my number 1. Pacific Drive. Oh, thank you. Let's give a clap. It's the only indie on this list to be number 1, and it is a phenomenal experience. And the reason why, I think when I reviewed this game originally for the podcast, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I said the story didn't hit, and that was it really, and that was kind of the defining downfall of it. All year since I played it, all I can think about is Pacific Drive.
There's been times that I've been on PS5 and you've been sharing your screen and playing Pacific Drive just in your garage tinkering. I'm like, Davey, are we gonna play Dead by Daylight? Are we gonna play Helldivers? Yeah, in a minute. And then 2 hours later, you're still tinkering with your fucking car.
For somebody who doesn't give a shit about cars, right?
Yeah,
who
that's
doesn't
true.
give a single fuck about cars. I could give less of a fuck about what car I drive. I do not care. To be obsessed with my fucking like people carry a car to the point where I'm like, oh, what should I take out for this? I look at the little map, right? So for those who don't know Pacific Drive, it came out earlier in the year. It came out in February on digital release and came out April for physical. And it was a game that had a really nice digital deluxe version. So it came out on like came out with postcards, came out with a physical map. You can write out your times, how long you survived in the zones, all this stuff, like a little journal. And it was just lovely. It was really nice. And I thought, well, I'll check it out. I love games like Subnautica.
Sure.
I love like these crafting survival games. It's been a couple of years since I played one, since the last Subnautica game. It is looking like it's doing something for me. I'll give it a go. And then when I got into it, that was it, man. Like, I didn't want to do anything else. I loved it, and it took about 53 hours, I think, for the platinum, around about there. It might even be close towards the 70 mark. And I loved every single moment. I just adored going in, and you basically go into a randomly procedurally generated map, and you have a route that you plan your route map, your route planner, which gradually gets bigger and more stops the longer you go on. And each zone has random things that will happen. So you might have that you go into a hurricane, you might get into like an ice storm, you might get into like thunder and lightning everywhere, and you outfit your car to be able to take advantage of those elements. And so you go into like a thunder and lightning zone, you think, I'm going to put wind turbines on. I'm going to put an electric charger on the roof. And it might only do me for one zone, but in that zone, I can just fucking hang out, listen to music. You get some great fucking tracks on the radio.
It's good music.
Sit down, get struck by lightning, charge up your battery, and think, on we go. Right? And it's just, it's class. And it's just this great little gameplay loop that I adored. And the longer I go on, they're putting out little updates for holiday zones, and you get Santa stuff. And I can't stop thinking about it.
Have we got that Game Awards music that we can just start turning out? Just to fade you out? Because it's a game I don't think anyone else has played?
No.
I have bought it, and it's on my hard drive, but
Okay.
I have not played it yet. It is on the list for Stellar Blade.
Do you have it physical?
I do.
I'll take it from you tomorrow.
Please do.
Ooh.
Honestly, it's incredible.
I'll have to hear about it all next fucking year now.
The story at the time, I didn't think stuck with me. I didn't think I'd care. And the more that I find, like, when you have those moments, you know, like, I do a lot of my thinking in two places, either in the shower or when I'm driving. When I'm driving, I think quite a lot when driving. I don't really realise I'm doing it, but
Posting
I
up
do.
clarity in the shower.
I don't do that anymore. So I don't get any more of it. I'm too drained, bro. I'm like a fucking, like a husk of a man. But when I'm driving, I do a lot of it. And so as I'm driving along, I'll just think, I wonder on this from Pacific Drive, like these moments, these little plot points that just stuck with me throughout that game.
Is that why you've got all those solar panels strapped to your car?
Yeah, it is.
Outside, yeah. It's weird, that, and a
It is.
toaster.
Yeah.
What's that doing?
Yeah, and little but Jenny's all
Yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah.
Jenny's
Weird,
strapped
weird,
on the side,
weird,
strapped on
yeah,
the sides of my
yeah.
Astra. I swear it works. MOT might not like it, but but yeah, it's just been a game that across. If I just played it just before this, if it released in September and I did it now, it would be way lower on my list.
Yeah.
But having this many months after it and
To
for it
think
still
about
be
it.
so highly thought of in my mind puts it way above all these. Like Helldivers released a few months prior, and I love it, and that's why it's my number 2. But I fucking love this game. Like I fucking love this game. I encourage anyone out there. Like these guys are so nice to follow on Twitter as well. Ironwood Studios, because they fucking raved about the fact they got nominated for Best Indie. They loved it. Like it was such a big deal for them. I encourage you, if you haven't played this game or if you like survival crafting games, go out there and experience it because it's fantastic.
I got 2 things to say about Pacific Drive.
Sure.
Ooh.
One is you screen shared a lot of Pacific Drive to me. And all I remember is one moment you've got the jumping fucking suspension
The
thing,
hydraulics, yeah.
You got the hydraulics, and I remember you being like, alright, let's test these out. You're going like fucking 70 down the road, you jump, you go, oh fuck! Bang! Land straight onto a rock, flip your car, you're like, no! And it was fucking amazing. Brilliant. I wanted to play it from that moment. I thought that looks great. Second thing I want to say, do you think you'd feel the same about Pacific Drive if you didn't have the portal?
Oh.
No, I don't think I would. I think the portal's a massive part of this experience. I've clocked close to 80 hours on the portal since I got it, and I got it late. I got it in...
And you hated it when it came out, didn't you?
well, I hated it when you got it, yeah, and then...
Phil was wrong.
And then, yeah, I got it in probably July, maybe. I don't know when I got it. And yeah, it changed everything. I remember just being sat, and most of my time spent on that game is sat on Karen's sofa, lying across it, and she's cooking dinner or she's doing something, and she's like, oh yeah, you can play whatever. And just sat there and just, oh yeah, I got just 2 more stops, it won't take me long. And then 4 hours later, you know, I've just like me going around, scooting around every single thing. Sorry, I'm just going to do my car and now go to bed. And it's like, oh, but now I can upgrade this. And now I can, I'll take this off. I don't want to scrap this. This is really nice. I might put this in my little cubby. And then,
Oh shit,
I
I
gotta
start
take
work in
some
20 minutes.
oh, I gotta take some out. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
fuck, it's 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just one of those games. And I think the portal was a big part of that because I could just play it wherever I wanted to. And it was one of those things that as soon as I started, a lot of games would be the kind of drive for credits or the drive for the platinum. You know, like I really want to achieve that. And Pacific Drive, I just got sadder and sadder the more I got towards the platinum. Because I was like, fuck, I've kind of just done everything now. And I didn't really want it to end. You know, like I wanted to have more runs where I've got my fully complete car. Whereas the end was, the platinum is like, oh, my car's done. Which was a bit sad. Because I was like, fuck, I want more. You know? So it's one of those games where it's like, it leaves you wanting more, even though you spent a lot of time in its company.
Yeah.
And not many games kind of achieve that moment. And that's why it's my number one.
That's fair.
Respect.
And so, with that, guys, we will tally off and we will tally up the scores. And we will be back for our podcast Game of the Year.
So we had a brief intermission. We have tallied the votes. We have the scores. So, in dead last place, there's a tie. We have Indiana Jones, 1, and Concord with 1.
They're definitely not tribalist on this.
Damn fucking
Well
shame.
done. Well done with your 1 point. So, still
Definitely
good.
not tribalist. Definitely
Two
not.
games that are equally as good as each other.
7 out of 10s.
7 out of 10s. The way it goes. Next, with 2 points, another tie. Silent Hill 2 Remake and Prince of Persia.
Great
Great games. Actually, genuinely good games.
Genuinely good games.
I mean, all the lists are good games.
If you'd both played Silent Hill 2,
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
of course,
Yeah, of course,
of
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
If I played it, I'd probably be scared.
Yeah. Damn.
up next, another tie.
Oh!
So all
Holy
to fucking
shit.
play for. We have Crow Country
Ooh.
with 3 and Stellar Blade with
Deserved.
3. Very
Again,
deserved.
would have been higher if you'd have played it.
If I played Stellar Blade, it would have been on my list 100%.
Yeah.
If you played Crow Country,
It would have been on my list.
there we
Seems to
have
have a
it.
male character as the main instead of Blade, it would have been on my list probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these scores aren't reflective of our opinions; they're reflective of our neglect.
Our neglect.
Because
It's a
they-
shameless more than
they could be
anything.
like- It's a shame. It's a fucking shameless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shameless, yeah.
Damn fucking shame. First time it's not been a tie. Standalone game on 4 points. We have Balatro.
Hey.
Great game!
Game of the Year contender.
Hey.
Up next, another the rest of all standalones. The rest have all earned their place.
Wait,
Good.
this is
No
the top
contention.
So,
this is
so
the
what is
top
this
fi-
now at
this
this
is-
point?
This is for
Number
4th place.
So Balatro was 5th, and this is number 4.
In 4th place, we have Pacific Drive.
Davey, let's go to, like, and have a rant now and go.
No, no, I've spoken up. I've spoken up.
Fade him
Fourth
out.
place.
Fade him out. Fade him
I've
out.
spoken up. I've spoken up.
In 3rd place with the bronze medal,
Ooh.
we have
Ooh.
fucking Astro Bot.
The actual game of the year.
Actual game of the year.
But not our personal.
And all
game of the
4 of
year.
us
Yeah.
voted for that, but
We
yeah,
did.
it still came.
Damn shame, but do you know what that means? There's 2 bigger dicks in the room.
Yeah, boy.
With the silver medal and 12 points, we have Shadow of the Urchin.
It shouldn't be so much of a surprise for people who've actually listened to the episode.
No.
If they could do maths.
This is for people that have tuned in at this point just to find out. They just want the spoiler.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
timestamp.
Okay.
Yeah, we're tough.
I mean, two
Thumbs up.
PlayStation
Sure.
fans know how to do maths.
We can count to 5 at least.
We don't have,
Yeah.
we don't have time. We got too many games to play, bro.
Oh!
Cheers.
Woo!
Bands.
I need a beer.
We do
Give me a
love a
beer.
bit of bands.
Hear me, fear me.
And in 1st place,
Oh.
with 14 points and the gold medal, Helldivers 2. A shock to fucking no one.
Helldivers 2 coming in Game of the Year for 2024.
Game of the year.
Arrowhead, don't fucking miss.
Cheers.
to Arrowhead.
Cheers to Arrowhead.
Cheers to Arrowhead.
Helldivers 2.
Well done.
Thank you,
Well done.
Arrowhead.
A game we can all criticise, but all love.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
There we have it. That is the top 3. So in gold, Helldivers 2, silver, Shadow of the Erd Tree, and in bronze, Astro Bot. What a top fucking three.
Yeah.
Great
Great
top three.
games.
Great
Great
top
games.
three.
I think if it was kind of a predictable top three, but I was shocked that Elden Ring took it to number 2 because 4 people voted for Astro Bot, but only 3 of us voted for Elden Ring. So
true.
yeah,
It goes to show the point system is fair. It gives and it takes away. And speaking of taking away, we are going to be talking about our gaming neglects for 2024. The things that either we regret doing, the things that you missed out on doing. You can take it anywhere you want. What are your biggest gaming regrets for 2024? Now, Spence, I'm going to come to you first. Give me your biggest gaming regret.
My first regret that isn't gaming is not doing a shot of Fireball. So, hand me that Fireball, please, Governor.
Hey, let him have a shot.
yeah let's go. Drunk.
Everyone?
Double one, is it?
I was just.
Are you joining me?
Phil is.
Why am I
I'll have one after. I'll have one after.
doing? You can have one with Lewis, you?
No, yeah, of course.
Lewis, you having one?
Shit. I guess I am.
Yeah, boy. To the winners, to the losers.
To Super Earth.
Why did you look at me when you said
To
losers?
Super.
You looked at me, the winners.
Yeah.
The winners.
I voted Helldivers, and Helldivers has gone first.
I like Lewis's thing. To Super Earth.
That's what
I said.
I mean, it was Spencer's thing.
Yeah,
But
Super Earth.
Super
Well, I
Earth.
won't get drunk
Slauncher.
tonight.
To democracy. Yes.
Right, Lewis,
Oh,
you're gonna have a
fuck.
nice sip of liberty right now, and I've gone bigger than a double, so you're
Oh,
joining
wow.
me.
Oh man, you fucking crazy.
Tastes so much harsher than I remember.
Trying to get me drunk,
Fuck.
guys.
That's an aged Fireball.
It's been matured at my house.
Yeah, that's sitting in a casket, mate.
Do you know
that.
which way you drank this? I guess it. I hope you don't have disease.
You're fine, you're fine. Fucking hell, that Fireball is kicking.
Oh, it's not good, guys.
Yummy.
It's not bad.
It's got a lasting
Lovely.
taste.
It keeps going, lads. It keeps going.
Lovely. I always think about the burn is never as bad as the burn I got put through on your quiz, Phil.
Ooh.
Like that fucking fire.
It's the cinnamon in this that's the
Yeah,
worst
it's way
taste. The
different.
burn's fine.
I'd prefer the I love that.
Yeah.
Horse.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
I prefer that over hot sauce any day of the week.
Oh no.
No, I'm not into hot sauce. That's fine.
I'd
Yeah,
snort
agreed.
some hot sauce, mate. Fucking love it.
well, snort me your biggest gaming regret.
That's so strange, but sure.
Didn't like that?
You could be on the one show with that kind of transition.
Yeah, I like that.
I think you
Yeah.
could.
I'm
gonna
wasted.
host the
I'm
1%
wasted
club.
here. I'm
Yeah.
wasted here.
My biggest gaming regret, we already hinted towards it earlier. So there are 2 games on, well, just in general, this year that I haven't played that I really need to, and they're basically the same genre. It's Stellar Blade,
Ooh.
shock to fucking no one, and Black Myth Wukong
Oh, Black Myth's come up.
is a massive.
We haven't mentioned that all
fucking
night.
miss. I know.
I know.
But one's, big titty anime Chinese woman killing shit with a big sword, and
And the
one's
other
A
celebrate.
monkey.
a monkey. One's basically Goku with
Yeah.
the fucking big staff.
Powerball.
Yeah, the power pole. Have you seen the people that made the power pole? Oh, we'll talk about that. It's fucking both those games. I've seen so much gameplay from both. Fucking exceptional, and I know they're exceptional, and I just haven't had the time or the funds, the financial situation to play them. I'm going to amend that.
Got
I
a job
will
now?
Change it. Got a job now.
Got a job now?
I get paid soon.
Exactly that.
I think what I'll do, I'll buy him. I think I'll buy him digital so you can play him as well.
Oh, that'd be really
Oh.
nice. That'd be lovely, that will. Oh,
Sharing the
Hey,
love.
Christmas.
we don't need COD this year.
No.
We do need Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, I'll buy Stellar Blade first, I think.
We'll
And
play it together.
yeah.
I've got a lot of games to play, so I don't need Black Myth just yet. But I think I will buy it when you guys buy it. I haven't played it.
Yeah, so my gaming regrets are the same as Spencer's, Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade, but then I'll also add in Persona 3 Reloaded, and there's a couple of other games as well that I've not played enough of. I've enjoyed playing some of these games, but just not invested the time. Which is, again, time, the thing that Phil likes to say. If we had more time, it'd be... there's so many games I want to play. I want to play Pacific Drive. I want to play Crow Country. I want to play... I have a list as long as my arms are back catalog games. And it's not just games from 2024. I want to play The Last of Us Remastered to get the platinum on The Last of Us 1. I want to beat The Order 1886. I've got that.
Nice.
Oh, that's an older game. That is
So I mean,
very
I've got
I
15
can see
platinums
that.
this year, and I want to try and equal that next year if I can.
Wow, well done.
Yeah. So that's maybe not a regret, but maybe more of a goal.
You know when you were a kid, right, and you thought about growing up, and you thought, I can't wait to have money and go to the pub and everything else. You were blessed. You had time. You had unlimited time.
Man, this is deep.
Time's the resource we truly have.
Dude, the crazy thing is, and you are right, it's very deep. What you guys don't realise is that as soon as you have children, you guys won't have a fucking clue, man.
I know, kids.
Like, you do not understand. Like, you guys think you're busy now with, like, your gym and shit like that, dude, and getting a decent night's sleep. Bro, fuck me. You got such an awakening, dude. Bro. Like, the thing is, you got two choices at that point, right? It's either you adapt or you sleep. Right? And so I chose adapt, right? I adapt, so I just stay up really late.
Yeah.
And I learn to exist on
you know
fuck
I'm going
all.
to sleep. I already sleep.
I already know, like, Phil's game time would just be like, woo. He'd be like, top 5? Fuck.
Yeah.
Top
I
1?
haven't got 5 games.
I got top 1.
I've read about
League.
I've read about these games and I know every fact about them, but I've never played them.
I've spoken about them on the podcast for years. I'm really excited about all these, but I know this. I've played this. And this is what I've done.
That could be me.
It's wild.
So my regret is not making a time machine, or getting that pod that Phil wanted, or telling everyone to fuck off for 2 days like you suggested.
Yeah, the regret is not booking an entire weekend out once a year just for you. That's the dream. Yeah, I think out of every single lesson this podcast ever taught you, the best thing you could do is just say, and we've spoken a lot about lessons. There's been a lot of lessons on this podcast. You know, we've had about the fact that don't get too big because you become a nonce. That's a major lesson.
That's a big
lesson.
lesson.
I thought you meant don't get too big.
No.
Always get big.
We never said about that.
Always get big.
There's no conflict there.
No.
It's popularity, man.
It's popularity. As soon as you get too big, nonce starts.
What's the level there? Because I'm at 5,000 subscribers. I don't really want to be a nonce.
Well, I'm at 5,500 without putting anything out for a year.
And he's touched his kids.
And I do not.
but he only touches them lightly. So the more subscribers he gets, the further he goes in.
I only give him a light petting, which they don't class
it's just this at the moment.
So.
Yeah, don't subscribe to Potato Pro Wrestling. I don't want to become a nonce.
It's a well done at this point. But if I start getting towards 10,000, it starts getting maybe...
He's full finger.
The hand goes lower,
Yeah,
you were a bit graphic.
I don't know where this is going.
I was going to say the hand just goes from here a bit down. You were doing like
this. It's a cranial thing.
If you like wrestling, subscribe to Potato Pro Wrestling. But if I got over 5,400, stop subscribing because I don't want to become a nonce. I think
5499.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's the goal.
That's the
499. I don't want to become a nonce like Davey.
Never become a nonce.
That's
a good life lesson. Never become a nonce.
Don't become a nonce.
Just stop just before.
Just before.
You can look at them, but don't act on it.
I think as soon as we hit 100,000, we get our plaque. At that point, we stop. Right, we just terminate the channel at that point. We get our plaque. We done it.
I think
it's
so.
done. We start again from zero. I reckon.
Yeah, start a new channel.
Yeah, start a new channel
Different
from zero. No, exactly the same. Episode 7,001.
Yeah, become an Xbox channel.
Yeah, by the time we get there.
there,
and we just start again because at that point you.
Yeah, but I really want to do Phil games like Beast games, just my own version of it.
What would be? Sorry, listeners.
You need to get better at encrypting your hard drive, then.
What's in the That's not the lesson. That's not the lesson.
Well, maybe
get
it is.
better at encrypting.
Maybe it is.
Delete your cookies. That's not the lesson.
I'm gonna get 10,000 paedophiles, and we're gonna find you out one at a time.
This is where it ends, and you go.
That's not the lesson. That's not the lesson. What's what would the Phil games be? I want to know these.
Oh, they'd be sadistic as fuck.
Herding sheep.
I've played.
No, they'd be how many clanks? First round, and we'd eliminate everyone.
What they done?
Surely it's the Hoy games, right? The Hoy games would be a better name.
Oh, the Hoy games.
The Hoy game,
Yeah,
and
games.
that should be in 10 episodes time. Should be a big Big quiz.
Five
Episode 20, like, what, 10?
It's Squid
Your
Games.
Your big
or
quiz.
Games.
Your big quiz.
Big quiz 110.
Or whatever your big
Hoy
quiz
Games.
is.
The Hoy
The Hoy Games.
I reckon we could bring the listeners in on the Hoy Games.
And whoever loses gets shot.
What
right in the
was
head.
that? What was that like viral thing where everyone chucked ice over their heads and turned down?
Ice
Ice
Bucket
Bucket Challenge.
We're going to do that. It's the Hoy Squid Games, but we're gonna do something like that.
The problem is with the big quiz is, how do you make that good for a listening audience?
Well, just everyone going ah.
Cheers.
Class.
Anyway, biggest gaming
Die in the
regrets,
game.
right?
Yeah, biggest game regrets.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Please.
shot hit.
Yeah, fuck.
Flew in, didn't it? Flew in. Yeah, the show's ruined.
I'm so fucked.
You cut all this bullshit out.
I won't cut any of this. It's class.
Okay. Biggest gaming regret, and I think this is probably going to be quite a surprise to you guys, is the order of my PS5 Pro and exclusive handset.
The exclusive handset. Why are you sad about that? That's the one I'm surprised about.
Well, let me tell you a story, and I'm glad you've set me up there, Davey. So you know, in baseball, you've just thrown it up, and
Home run.
and I'm really glad you've asked that question because I've only just settled this issue.
Ooh.
So, listeners, I won one of the 30th anniversary handsets, and I was very pleased. A lot of people were quite happy about that on my Twitter, congratulating me because they're quite difficult to find. One of the elite handsets, right?
Mega.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it got delivered on a day I was out, and then it got returned to the parcel company. So I thought, okay, well, it might get delivered again, as Amazon would, or any of the main delivery companies. As soon as you get something delivered, if you're not there, they'll just bring it back. So I just waited a little bit longer. Didn't get delivered. So I started to get a little bit worried because it's, quite hard to get. A lot of money.
Mega money.
Loads.
And I was like, so I started to message DPD during that time. And they were like, oh, we don't know where your parcel's gone.
Never.
And they were like, but we cannot tell you any further information because you didn't send it. So you're gonna have to speak to PlayStation. So I spoke to PlayStation.
Oh, it's a nightmare, the customer support.
Customer support was actually blessed.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. But unfortunately, they didn't sort me out. They couldn't find it. They don't produce them anymore. So they refunded me really quickly. So I got the money back and they gave me £10 credit as compensation.
That's it.
Biggest gaming regret ever.
Wow.
Fuck me.
Dude, that handset's worth fucking loads.
I know.
Man.
I was
So you still don't have a PS Edge?
And I messaged him again and I was outraged. I wrote this big fucking email to him. Thanks, ChatGPT. Sorting me out, right? And it was proper, just in depth about what they should be doing. And they were just like, unfortunately, we can't help you any further. We try our best that we can.
Don't.
And it was like 2 lines.
So to this day, you still don't have your
Still
PS
don't
Edge?
have a PlayStation Edge. Still don't have a 30th anniversary PlayStation Edge.
That's worth
Do
so
not
much
have
money.
anything because the delivery company fucked up because I wasn't in at the time they delivered it. And they wouldn't just deliver it the next day, like most delivery companies.
So essentially what's happened is DPD stole your package.
Yeah, Nick.
I think someone stole my package.
Yeah,
100%.
DPD nicked your package.
Yeah.
100%. I would not stop emailing PlayStation about that.
I was so fucked off about it. I even tried, and this might be really lame because we haven't got a big reach. I said, I'm on a PlayStation podcast. I really want to talk about it. And they were like, £10 is all we can do.
That's
PlayStation gave me £10 credit.
PlayStation, if you're listening, get your shit together.
They're not listening.
They're not listening.
They're not listening.
We should.
That's fucking grim, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
DPD are a fault here.
Yeah, DPD.
Like,
Yeah,
like
it's
PlayStation.
DPD
PlayStation made the controller.
I just wish I was in that day. I had to go to work. It was one of those ones where like
You got
the dates changed and I've got to be in. I've got to be in. I think I had like a mental meeting that I had to be in.
Fuck me.
And unfortunately, I couldn't change the day. It was too late. So I thought, oh, they just deliver the next day. And they just didn't deliver the next day.
Can you not get onto DPD about it? Like anymore?
They were just like, I don't want to be racist, but it's just some person you can't speak to. And unfortunately, you can't get through to them because they don't think
They're useless.
And it's
I've
not
had the same
it's not their
issues.
fault at all, not personally. But they ain't going to sort anything out. They're just like, our system says nothing more, so we can't do anything more.
Oh my god.
So what do you say?
Terrible. That's terrible, dude. I really feel for
Yeah.
you. That's fucking awful, man.
The biggest game I regret is that order, because the PlayStation Pro, I don't have a disk drive.
Yeah,
and that was
day.
more the story, really, is that I don't have a disk drive, and I've got a lot of physical games. I really need a disk drive. PlayStation still hasn't released a disk drive in quantity that people can buy outside,
Paying an
scalpers.
exorbitant amount. Yeah.
Crazy amount. It's like 200 quid for one now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ridiculous amounts.
Yeah, there's a reason why I don't have a PS5 Pro or
Yeah.
haven't upgraded my TV, which I will need to do.
But there's a reason I bought it, because I did have the reduction in price. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
it
in
makes
that
sense.
sense. I'm
It
glad
makes
in that sense, but I'm not glad that it's just frustrating, right? It's like having all the tools, but you got no hands.
Dude, I completely get
You know what I mean? Like, you just can't use them. You can't use that new hammer.
Yeah, so like I'm on the worst
Spit.
level to you in the fact that I don't even have the fucking tools to do it. So it would be a case of my games look better. They run at 60. That's the best I can get, right? Whereas at least yours can run at 120, right? So it's like
I've got everything. Got the TV.
Yeah, so
got the PlayStation.
at least digital games class.
I've got the disc, and I'm just like, it was funny. Laura the other day tried to watch Elf,
On your thing.
and she was like, "There's no disc drive," and I was like,
Fucking-
"Fucking rubbing it in, innit, love?"
Fucking
Oh my god!
I can't put this DVD in.
She
I can't
tried
put this
to put-
VHS in.
tried to put-
Phil, this VHS ain't fitting.
She tried to put a DVD into my PlayStation 5 Pro, and I cried.
To be fair, if you had the disc drive, you should split it out at that point. This ain't even fucking Blu-ray, love. Why are you watching this on me?
What Elf on
Fucking-
Blu-ray?
Yeah, you little fucking tramp.
Try and put your vinyls in there. Like,
Yeah,
come on!
yeah. Well, my Betamax ain't working. Oh, why?
So yeah, biggest gaming regret is
That order.
being so excited to get it and to get it reduced,
That's sad.
and it just not really working out. None of it
Yeah.
worked out. None of it worked out,
It's
and
sad.
it was a lot of
yeah.
money.
That DualSense Edge story is fucking devastating.
I hate it. I hate it. I
I
hate
can't
it.
believe that.
And obviously, I was on holiday recently, and I was trying to deal with this while I was on holiday. So I was like having the time of my life, my family and everything else in Orlando, and it was a great time. And I was just like, "Fuck's sake, I haven't got." It's just so annoying because I can't get one now.
No,
Because if I wanted to buy
Impossible.
one, like
300 quid, fucking
it
a
is
bit more.
so much more money. It's
Yeah.
so much more money.
dude,
Yeah.
the moral of the story is, message me. Davey, are you in on this day? Yeah,
It's
Phil.
your house.
Yes,
Yeah,
Phil.
but I'd never see it.
It'd be like my smartwatch I didn't see for 2 months, but you get it eventually, right? That's the way it goes.
Or
But
more of the story is don't get excited for things, just be pessimistic.
oh, that's
Oh,
not the moral.
oh,
Jeez.
Lewis.
That's an Xbox gamer.
Lewis.
Oh, that is
That is an
Xbox.
Xbox
That's
fucking
an Xbox
Xbox
mindset.
guy thing
That
to
is
say.
Jesus Christ.
Christ.
Don't be excited for things because they never come.
Yeah.
It never works out the way you
2023, year of the Xbox. 2024.
Can't wait for Elder Scrolls 6.
Pour him a shot. Okay, well.
Right, well, on that sad note, we're going to bring it on to mine. And my gaming regrets of the year is different from these guys. It is not a particular game, even though there are a couple of games I will just mention here, just on the off, that I should have played that I have not. Silent Hill 2, Black Myth Wukong, Stellar Blade. Boom, shakalaka.
Prince of Persia.
So, very different.
Yes. But
Yeah.
no difference still. My main story here is the fact that I wasted 90 odd hours of my life in a game that did not make my top 5 and will not, spoiler alert, make my HMs. And that is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
A game that made it into Game of the Year, and I do not understand why. It is a game that is fundamentally flawed, it is a game that is unevenly paced, it is a game which does not do what it should do, which is improve the original, and it does not do it in any single way, in my opinion. The original is one of my favourite games of all time. Final Fantasy VII is one of the best games of all time. I will stand by that till the day I die. Rebirth had the best opportunity to be able to really elevate the story point from the original And for the odd moments it does. But for 99.999% of the entire game, it's a waste of your time.
It's fluff.
And it's fluff, it's bollocks, it's collecting the segways, it's fucking... It's racing chocobos in...
Even the guy who made it came out and admitted
It's just bullshit. It's just so much bullshit.
Yeah.
And the original game has a lot of mini games in it. Yes, it does. And people argue that and say, well, the original game has... Yes, but they're like 2 minutes in like a fucking... The entire thing of minigames is 20 minutes in a 54-hour adventure, whereas this is fucking at least 5 hours of a 90-hour adventure. It's just ridiculous, man. It's just like, there's so much fluff here. And the only good minigame, which they admit they nailed, is the fucking card game, which they didn't expect people to fucking love. Right? Like,
So
if
good.
it wasn't for fucking Queen's Blood, I would not have played this game to the end, I don't think. I think I would have quit. Queen's Blood is the only thing that kept me going. And there was the odd moments of fucking sunshine where you get a moment where it flashes you back to Fort Condor and you get classic FF7 graphics. Awesome. Really good little minigame. But is it better than real fucking Condor reactor getting the Phoenix materia? No. And that's the thing. It's like everything's kind of just worse. And you played it for a lot longer for no fucking reason. So for that reason, it's my biggest game of regret because I wasted 90 hours there where I could have instead played both Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, and time to fucking jack off as well.
And time just fucking stroke it, man. And I didn't get any of that.
Is that what we got to take into consideration every time we play a game? Well, I could be stroking it, but Silent Hill 2.
But, well, Silent Hill 2, you'd be like, well, I'm glad I didn't stroke it because I was playing Silent Hill 2. But for Final Fantasy 7, you're like, oh, I'm collecting segways for 2 hours. Oh, I could have stroked it 5 times. Right? I could have reloaded and done it again.
Reload.
Yeah, I need a reload.
Sticking your pair of balls on.
Do you think Rebirth feels padded and all that because it's a middle game in a franchise? Because it's not like obviously Remake was the beginning of Final Fantasy 7, and then obviously they're going to be making another Final Fantasy 7 in like what 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So do you feel like because it's like it's not really got a proper beginning or a proper end, it's kind of just filler?
No,
I guess?
No, I don't. And the weird thing is, and this is going to be quite hard for people that aren't familiar with Final Fantasy to understand, but this game is the end of disc 1 of a 3-disc game. And we're talking 90 hours. My original playthrough of Final Fantasy 7, and bearing in mind I got soft lock, because I was under-leveled when I got there, 54 hours, Final Fantasy 7. My second playthrough where I was the right level was 78 hours. And I was 90 hours in this at the end of disc 1, which is 2/3 of disc 1.
Wow.
And there's 2 more discs to go. We got to fight. I don't understand how they're going to wrap this up in one more run. I honestly don't get it.
Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ends in
It's
one more run,
game.
and
Yeah.
there's fucking loads to happen. They got to go to space. There's fucking so much that happens. Yeah, that's like the joke.
The way
They
you
go to
said
space, dude.
Gonna go
There's-
fucking space?
There's so much that happens in this game, and they've covered none of it, dude. They've covered none of it. And it's not even an open world. It's a case of you go on a ship that takes you on a semi-little flying minigame, which is bollocks, to go to one place. You don't even go. It's not even fucking... Like, the great thing about Final Fantasy 7 is you get the high wind, or the fucking bucking bronco, and you just fucking trail along the coast. Whereas here, it's like, oh, you can. Here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Does it feel like a filler arc in like an anime? Does it like feel like it's like non-important stuff? Like
No, it's mega. Like the story beats are fucking insanely good, and they're probably better than the original in how they're done. But the problem is, those story beats are 20% of the experience. 80% of it is bollocks that you're doing, and
80%
that's
is
the
filler.
problem.
Yeah.
80% of it's absolute filler bollocks.
That's kind of what I was.
Yeah.
So like you get these moments that are just fucking really good, and you think, "Fuck me, this is great." And the rest of the time, you're running around a chocobo in some really complex area for no fucking reason. Where like the original place was this place called like Gorgonda Forest, right? It was like 5 pixels long. It was fuck all. One thing happens there. It's a massive area. And to get around that, you got to jump along these flowers, which are really fucking hard to find on your Chocobo. So it takes fucking ages. And then every time you get into a battle, instead of just jumping off your Chocobo and getting into a battle, it's like, I'll just fucking unsaddle. And then, my Chocobo can't get up here. And it's just all this bollocks that are just like unfucking tailored together. Wow. And it's just not good. I just don't understand how they scored like a 94. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. It's the biggest waste of time in my year. And when it comes to the next FF, I'll have to play it because I've already invested this much time in.
Yeah.
But they've got to pull out of the bag because so far this remake trilogy has just been, to me, such a disappointment. And so, with our biggest game of regrets out of the way, it's time to do our honourable mentions before we end. And we'll keep these very, very, very swift. So, Spence, over to you.
The only game that was a contender for my list that didn't make it was Concord. Hey. That was my 6th place, and it would have probably, on God, on my life, been number 1 if it was still in existence. But it's not, because I fucking adored Concord. Fucking shagged it. Itzy, that weird little creature, whatever she was,
Furry.
Slapped fucking tits. I'd run about, fuck off the team, I'd fuck all you off, run straight in, get a quad, dip out. Bless. Felt fucking amazing.
I'd love to know the game he's playing because it was very much a case of let me power you up.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Let me put the fucking healing
dome
down.
Can I heal you? Yeah.
Can I heal you between encounters?
Assists don't count though, do they, Phil?
No.
Assists don't count.
So it doesn't matter the fact that he's got all this support behind him to let him do this quad. No.
Bro,
carry on.
I was playing COD.
Speak your truth, bro.
I was playing COD, mate.
It's a team game. We all supported you to get those
not with
kills.
Itzy, bro. I had no one with me.
Of course.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Itzy's got.
It was only Lewis that wasn't supporting you because he was running in and dying.
While healing you and setting up the team.
That's class.
Sure.
Itzy had the capability where what you would do is you run into fucking. So as soon as you see someone, you'd throw your orb to safety, start a fight, and as soon as you realise you're gonna lose, or if someone else comes in, you teleport out, regen your health, come back in, and that's literally the fucking. You just play COD. You play COD until you realise you're gonna lose, and you fuck off out, and that was it. And you just never die. You just get kills. Felt fucking amazing. Phenomenal game. I honestly think it'd be my number 1.
They had some shit skins though, didn't they?
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that Concord just missed a trick.
Yeah.
With the skins. Because every skin was just terrible.
Yeah, pants.
There was one really good one for Itzy, but I could never. The game didn't exist long enough for me to.
Just weird colours and like none of it was appealing.
No, she had like an alternate outfit thing.
Yeah, they all did.
You want the one with like the armor like.
Nah, Itzy had like.
You want the one that just comes into a bra, right?
Yeah. Which just tits out Itzy, bro.
But Itzy's ultimate.
Amari just in a little bra.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She'd have milkers as well.
That'd be class, bro. Itzy had like a crop top kind of thing, the different colours and shit. I was like,
I'd like Amari's, which is like she's full armoured up. She's like,
sick.
That'd be sick. Or where Dora looks like a woman. That'd be
one of her skins is a woman, one of her skins is a man.
Yeah, semi-man.
Depends who you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
True.
Sexy, really sexy woman.
Yeah.
Or just a very manly man.
No.
Or you can have the base skin, which is somewhere in between.
Yeah. The one I like with shaved head.
Yeah.
Me and my
crew.
And the next one's like, me and my crew.
That's what I like.
Ooh.
Yeah, great game.
Gender fluid.
On too
That's
soon.
my character.
And so, what about yourself, Lewis? What's your HMs?
I mean, Concord was great, but
So
my honourable mention was my number 5 for the longest time, and it's been bumped down to number 6 because of Indiana Jones. It is Metaphor Re-Fantasio.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I've heard a lot about this one.
Is really fucking good. I think Atlas are better than Square when it comes to making JRPGs at the moment. I think it is a much better game than Final Fantasy Rebirth. Even though I haven't played it. From what I've seen, the music, the art style, the characters, the world, it's just great. It's all fantastic. It's very Persona It's very, very similar
It's
to Persona.
literally Persona,
It's literally Persona. But I like the world, I like the settings, and it's like you're on like a road trip trying to get votes from people, and you just like explore this massive world. And it's just great. It's just a great game.
It's all about racism.
Yeah, it's all about racism.
Great.
Like, yeah, you've got bunny ears, so I hate you and I'm going to kill you. Or you've got cat ears.
You're like the last survivor of a race.
Yeah,
right?
you've got blue hair and like different colour eyes.
Of course you do.
I can't remember the name of the character. Yeah,
Anime.
It's very anime. The whole game is
very eerie.
You're the last of the race, and everyone's just like, "Oh, this guy can't go for can't be president." It's like, boo! Like he's one of those. I'm like, whoa, Jesus.
Appeals to the woke crowd. Yeah, individuality.
Yeah. But and you get like someone of a different race or like whatever, like the rabbit person, and you get ginger. I don't know.
They don't let a ginger in there, do they?
Yeah, there's a ginger in your
Oh,
team.
no.
And then
No one likes him.
and there's
Do you have to pick him?
It's a woman, ginger woman. She's great. She's got like
They're
pointy
fine.
ears.
Yeah,
They're fine. They're class.
They're quite high.
They're class.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
class. They're class.
And then there's
Dirty
like,
birds.
there's a guy who's like royalty, like all like formal royalty. Anyway, basically you just have a crew of all different people with different like characteristics
and my crew.
stuff. Me and my crew. R.I.P. Concord.
Me and my
No, but
crew.
this game is great. Only thing about it is I've spent about 40 hours into it, and I still don't feel like I've scratched the surface.
You haven't. No.
No,
Wow.
I feel like I've barely scratched the
Big game.
surface of this game.
Yeah,
Wow.
big fucking game.
It's a great game from what I played. The music and the art and everything is fucking fantastic. There's like an 8-hour demo that you can play, and then your save carries over. So try it out if you have a look at it. That's what got me into it. I played the demo and I was like, "Is this demo ever gonna end?" It's like 8 hours later, I finished it. And like that game was great. I'm gonna buy it. So it's literally the whole
Good
first,
demos sell games.
Yeah, it's literally the first like 8 hours of the game.
Diablo
That's
2.
nuts.
And we've talked about this loads. We've had so
great.
many shit demos
Yeah.
which have just bombed a game. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad they've utilised demos in the right way there.
But yeah, that was my number 5 for the longest time until
Yeah.
Indiana Jones whipped it like down the list. So
Nice.
Well done.
Great game.
Well done. What about yourself, Mr. Hoy?
So my HM, and it's probably quite predictable. So I'm going to start off with the Metascore because I know Spencer loves it.
God.
It's a 90%
Ooh,
Metascore.
woo! I actually don't know what you're on
So
about.
this game came out in 2022, 27th of October. But
Oh, I know what it is.
came to PS Plus
I know exactly what it is.
in the game catalogue
let's try.
in April 16th. This is Mint Rocket's own Dave the Diver.
Oh,
I fucking love this game. Now, it's a game that I've always wanted to play on PC, but because of the PlayStation podcast, it's kind of got in the way of my PC gaming. Okay? So,
Good.
time's passed. And I shouldn't talk too much about my brother because he listens to the show and he says I always talk about him.
Hi, Phil's brother.
I would always look at the games he was playing and play around the games he was playing. There was a couple of games that I played to the side of what Mike was playing, but generally I would gravitate towards the games Mike was playing. So Natural Selection and the mods for Half-Life. You know, I used to love all that type of stuff. We did a lot of World of Warcraft, really got into League in a big way. But he's always said Dave the Diver is a class game, and he said, you're going to love it. I never did. I never did on PC. But I had the opportunity on Game Catalogue, and I know I always rinse the service because generally there isn't much for me because I don't have a lot of time. Generally, I'll want to spend 50, 60, 70 quid on the biggest game that comes out on PlayStation, and I gravitate towards that, and I want to spend my time in the best game. So I don't really care about the service. Generally, the subscription, is just play the games with you lads, which is Helldivers, of course, my favourite game of this year. It's been blast this year. But Dave the Diver, what a game. What a game. Absolutely loved every second in Dave the Diver. And that score is justified because it is a beautiful game. There is so much to it. And they're bringing out DLC. So
Sick.
really looking forward to that. Gonna probably play another 40 hours in there. But Dave the Diver, when I had my roundup of PlayStation, it was quite high.
Yeah.
I think I did like 60 hours in Dave the Diver.
Great.
Very addictive. Got the platinum for it. Absolutely lovely game. So that's my honourable mention. But of course,
Phil Platinum always gets a clap.
it does because it means something.
Ooh, platinum.
But of course, I can't put it in my top 5 because it didn't come out this year. It's a 2022 game. It's an older game, but it needs a little shine.
Hell yeah.
It's a class game.
You would probably be thinking, Davey, why didn't Sparking Zero make your list? And that is because it made number 6 on my list. I think Sparking Zero is everything I want from a video game. It is fucking perfect for what it sets out to do. It's got a singular mission. It achieves that 100%. It is the best Dragon Ball fighting game we've ever had outside Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is, I think, one of the best fighting games ever made. And I will stand by that till the day I fucking die. I played 400 fucking hours. My most played fucking PlayStation 4 game is Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's fucking perfect. And it's the game that I'm going to bring down my PlayStation in a moment, and you guys are going to fucking battle out on and have a great time on. It's fucking perfect.
Okay.
It's a great party game.
Dave's being Krillin.
It's so fucking fun. It's just amazing. And the only reason it didn't make this list higher is because it's only great if you're a Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah.
Like if
And
if
it
you're
doesn't
not,
have longevity, does it?
No.
no.
No. It's a single play for the fans.
Yeah,
It's a
for
party
the
game.
fans.
And
It's
there's
for the
fun.
fans.
It's a party game.
It's a party
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
party game.
Oh, no.
Same reason that no one's going to put Wii Sports in their fucking top 10 games.
I fucking would.
Oh, Wii Sports.
No, you wouldn't.
I fucking love Wii Sports.
Shout out to Super Mario Jamboree.
It slaps tits, bro.
Moving on from that, my second one is the game we've already spoken about, which is Concord.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Brilliant.
Those are my HMs. Well done to all the HMs.
Pour one out for Concord.
Pour one out for Concord.
Bring
Concord.
it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Especially
Best-
you, Itzy.
Best game of the year. Not
Yeah.
quite. Helldivers 2. But on that note, we shall bring this special episode to a close. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, there's a couple of ways to support us in the podcast. The best way, and the way that I know that you've supported us,
PayPal.
I was literally about to say my PayPal link.
go on Spotify, go on to wherever you listen to your podcast, and put a rating on there. 5 stars is what we're looking for. If you're happy with it, put a 5-star rating on. We are currently, last time I checked it, on 29, I believe. So I want to get to a 30. One more of you. So one more of you sick little fucks who listens in Argentina, in fucking
Why are you picking on the Argentinians?
Because there's 1% of the audience there.
Is there?
Yeah.
There's one in Ghana.
Exactly. These are the people.
Ghana.
You make
You've only
up
just got electricity.
the entirety of your country that listen. Just you.
You
No
might not-
one else. You have the biggest chance to spread that around.
You
Think
might,
how
not, you might not be able to play Helldivers 2 because of the PlayStation restrictions, but you can still give us a 5-star.
think how many people live in Ghana, right? 1% of our audience. Most of them are here and the US, right? There's loads of
Most of them
US.
are related. Most of them are related to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The European. I don't know.
We've
anyone
run
who's
out of
African.
family now.
Yeah. And anyone who's African, share it around, bro. Like, you got an entire continent. You can walk anywhere in that entire continent, and you'll get there.
Maybe don't share the episodes we do impressions, but the other ones.
We haven't done an African impression, so
Not-
as long as you're not
Not till next time round.
Oh,
because
105, 105.
we've brought impressions back.
If you want to hear an African impression, let us know in the comments.
No.
exactly. And on that note, I really want you to share it, and please.
Please.
Please, God. But on that note, we shall bring our podcast to a close. I've been Davey.
I've been Phil.
I've been Spencer.
And I've been Lewis.
Take care, guys.
Bruce!
In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters, @SSJDavey, @PhilipHoy, @SpenPie_. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. See ya.